Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome. What is going on, everyone? So, let me see. Make sure you guys can hear me because the other night yep. All right. Audio is working. So, how's everyone doing tonight? I'm going to give it a little bit to let more people jump on, but let me just give a little bit of backstory of what's going on. So, all the Duggar documents basically were unsealed, and people's just been kind of going through them. And thankfully, the Sojo Files is here. If you guys don't follow the Sojo Files, go follow her. She has a podcast. She has a YouTube channel that she just made not too long ago. The Sojo Files is more of like a true crime channel, but the Duggar, she started covering the Josh Duggar trial. And thankfully, she sent me a lot of this information. So what we're going over tonight, she sent to me. So shout out to the Sojo Files. You guys go check her channel out. Earlier, actually, she's covering the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial as well. When it resumes, she will be live on her channel, live streaming it, giving commentary, interacting with the chat, putting y'all's comments up on the screen, and answering questions and everything. So she's a good one to watch on the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Go follow her. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, thank you. Hi, Brittany. Hello, everyone. So what we're going to go over tonight, I thought this was interesting. So Sojo has given me, sent me a lot of stuff. And I was kind of going through everything. And this was one that I thought was really interesting. Let me share with you guys really quick. What just happened there? Oh, okay, here we go. All right, here it is, you guys. Hold on, let me get back over here. Give me a second. Make sure this. There we go. There we go. Okay. So this is one that I thought was rather interesting. This is a motion in limine, and basically, I'm learning all this legal jargon lately. But a motion in limine, so it's Latin for a motion at the start. So they file these motions, send them to the judge before the trial even starts. But basically, what it is it's a motion in limine where basically they file this. The purpose of filing it is to try to keep certain evidence from being brought up in front of the jury. And the reason they do this is because they think this evidence is irrelevant, prejudicial, unreliable, or problematic. So this is a motion in limine to exclude reference to public interest in knowledge of sexual predators and whether the plaintiffs believe that Josh Duggar is a sexual predator. Now, this lawsuit is the Jill Dillard, Jessa Sewald, Ginger, and Joanna Duggar lawsuit against the city of Springdale. So this is when the girls sued the city of Springdale, saying that they illegally released the you guys, I've been having a lot of brain farts lately. But anyways, it's basically the suit that they filed against the city of Springdale for releasing the information about like their statements and what Josh did to them when they were younger. If you guys hear the dog is running up and down, up and down, up and down. Anyways, so I thought this was interesting that their attorney filed this basically saying we do not want it to be asked of the girls or their spouses if they think their brother is a sexual predator. So we're going to read this and then I'm going to give my comments on it and why I think it's important. So it says, introduction and a relevant factual background. Plaintiffs are four sisters who suffered SA at the hands of their brother, Josh Duggar, when they were minor children. in or around 2002. This litigation arose from the city of Springdale and Washington County defendants, collectively defendants, improper release of confidential reports documenting the details of plaintiffs' SM, which occurred in May 2015. Plaintiffs' claim at trial include invasion of privacy, public disclosure of private fact, invasion of privacy, intrusion upon seclusion, tort of outrage. In the deposition of plaintiffs and their spouses, defendants have sought to elicit testimony that they did. Let me go over here. That they did a service by releasing the reports because it allowed the public to identify Josh Duggar as a sexual predator. I'm going to read that again. So, in the depositions of the plaintiffs, which would be the girls and the girls' husbands, defendants have sought to elicit testimony that they did the public a service by releasing the reports because it allowed the public to identify Josh Duggar as a sexual predator. Skip all this. I guess this just says, I'm not sure who this is. Ginger, Joy, Jeremy, I guess this is their depositions. Plaintiffs anticipate that defendants will continue this at trial and ask plaintiffs and their spouses whether they believe Josh Duggar is a sexual predator and whether they believe the public has a right to know about sexual predators. As detailed below, both types of evidence are inadmissible at trial for a number of reasons. So, evidence relating to whether defendants' release of the reports was for the public benefit and plaintiffs and their spouse believe Josh Duggar is a sexual predator is inadmissible at trial because it is irrelevant and calls for improper opinion testimony. Relevance Rule 402 of the Federal Rules of Evidence provides that evidence which is not relevant is not admissible, and evidence is only relevant if it has a tendency to make the existence of any fact that is of consequences to the determination of the action more or less probable than it would be without evidence. This case is about whether the defendants committed various intentional torts by releasing the reports containing details of SA of minors in violation of the law. Evidence of whether plaintiffs and their spouses believe defendants were acting for the public benefit simply has no bearing on whether defendants committed intentional torts. The same goes for evidence of whether plaintiffs and their spouse believe Josh Duggar to be a sexual predator. As such, both types of evidence are irrelevant and thus inadmissible. Rule 403 of the Federal Rule of Evidence allows courts to exclude evidence even if relevant if its probative value is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, confusing the issue, misleading the jury, undue delay, waste of time, or needless representation of cumulative evidence. Rule 403, great deference is given to a district's court, balancing of the relative value of a piece of evidence and its prejudicial effect. Here, a question about whether plaintiffs believe that Josh Duggar is a sexual predator and the public has a right to know about sexual predators are a classic gotcha question designed to insinuate that they did a public service by disclosing the incident and offense reports to the media. The question and answers have no probative value in this case and will confuse the issue, waste time, and mislead the jury. This case is about whether defendants committed torts by releasing confidential reports in violation of the law, not about what plaintiffs and their spouses believe about Josh. Defendants, after the fact, attempt to excuse their violation of the law by insinuating that it was for the greater good and is not legally relevant and will be highly prejudicial to plaintiff's case. Thus, even if the courts find this evidence admissible under Rule 402, it should be excluded. It should exclude the evidence under Rule 403. Improper opinion testimony. Finally, Rule 701 limits the scope of opinion testimony from a lay witness to opinions that are rationally based on the witness perception. Helpful to clearly understanding the witness testimony are to determine a fact and issue and not based on scientific, technical, or other specialized knowledge within the scope of Rule 702. Asking plaintiffs and their spouses to opine on whether they on whether there is a public interest in identifying sexual predators calls for improper opinion testimony. Not only would these opinions not be rationally based on the witness perceptions, but also fall squarely within the scope of Rule 702. Similarly, asking plaintiffs and their spouses to opine on their belief that Josh Duggar is a sexual predator calls for the improper opinion testimony. This case is not about plaintiff's molestation, but rather is about the defendant's improper release of confidential details about the molestations. Thus, plaintiffs and their spouses' opinions about whether or not Josh Duggar is a sexual predator will not aid the jury in understanding their testimony or determining a fact and issue. Any opinion offered by plaintiffs and their spouses will fall under Rule 702. In conclusion, for the reasons stated herein, plaintiffs respectfully request that the court grant this motion and exclude all evidence relating to whether plaintiffs and their spouses believe that Josh Duggar, the defendant, acted, or no, let me back that up. I jumped too far. Believe that the defendants acted in the public's interest by releasing the official reports documenting Josh Duggar's sexual molestations and that Josh Duggar is a sexual predator. All right. So, obviously, from what I gather, the Batman mask. So, from what I gather, obviously, they were asked at a deposition. The defendants asked at a deposition, asked the girls and their spouses, so do you believe Josh Duggar is a sexual predator? We don't know their answer, but I'm willing to bet, obviously, since they filed this motion, that at least one or more of them answered yes, that they did. Because if they didn't answer yes, and they wouldn't be scared to get on the stand and then be asked that, they could just say, well, they could all say, well, no, we don't. Because what they're going to say is, well, don't you believe that the public has the right to know if a sexual predator is in our area, or if there is one, just in general, if there's a sexual predator here, like, don't you think the public has a right to know that? So obviously, and obviously I think the girls would think that, growing up, they know what happened to them, but for years their parents watered down what happened to them. Their parents, I feel like, convinced them that it wasn't that bad, that it wasn't under clothes, it was over clothes, and that it was when you were asleep, and they had to tell that story. And I think their parents may have even convinced them that it wasn't as bad as what they knew it to be. But I think as they got older, they really started realizing, yeah, it was like it was as bad as I think. And I think a lot of the girls more than likely view Josh Duggar as a sexual predator. So their answer, when asked at a deposition, the girls would obviously, and probably their husbands would say, well, yeah, we do believe that. And that, I guess that would hurt their case in the end. It would hurt their case if they were asked that, and then they said yes, and then they said, well, don't you think the public has a right to know that? Because the defendants, they're trying to say, well, we released it legally, and we released it because we believe the public has the opinion to have knowledge about a sexual predator. Yes, Jill has definitely gone away from her family. Yeah, he did. Yeah, exactly. Also, the defendants are saying, like, it's not really about Josh's molestation. Well, actually, the plaintiffs are saying that it's not about the molestation. It's not even about the acts that occurred. It's about the fact that you guys released this, and we believe you guys released it illegally. We believe that you guys released it, and it was an invasion of privacy. We believe that you guys released it. They listed several invasion of privacy, public disclosure of private fact, intrusion upon seclusion, tort of outrage. So they list, their reasons. Plaintiffs anticipate the defendants will continue this at trial and ask plaintiffs and their spouses whether they believe Josh Duggar is a sexual predator and whether they believe the public has a right to know that. So yeah, I thought this was a really interesting one. Also, the reason put two and two together on the redacted documents is because they're famous. Yes. Obviously, if this, if the information would have came out, because it was redacted, the information was redacted, but because the family is famous, there were things left in the redacted. There were things left in there that even though it was redacted, you could tell who they were talking about. I think there was an age, maybe. Sojo, can you tell me if I'm remembering this correctly? But I think there was like ages listed. So obviously you could tell who they were talking about. Hey, Candy. Hey, Joe. Hey, Glenda. So yeah, anyways, that's my best guess, is that presumably they would believe that he's a sexual predator. And this would obviously work against their lawsuit for them. It would work against their case for them. But as you guys know, the case was essentially dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can't even try again. Which, I don't know. I'll text link. So who filed this? This was Jill, Jessa, Ginger, and Joanna. Their attorney, their side filed this. This was on their behalf. And it would make sense. I mean, I couldn't imagine. Yeah, I think they put the ages. Thank you, Ashley. I could, like I said, I couldn't imagine being, going through this and it being released and being famous so people knew who exactly I was and what happened. And then this big deal happened because of it. I mean, it was this huge deal, and these girls had to relive it. They had to kind of go through it again. Can I show this, Sojo, or no? Oh yeah, this is the one that okay. Give me just a second, you guys. I'm about to bring up the original report. Oh, there it is. 34 pages. Okay. I'm not for sure if I've ever seen the actual original report. Don't show your notes. Let me see if your notes are on here. Because I just forwarded it to my email. Do you guys want to go over the original filing? I'm making sure Sojo's notes are not on here. A lot of it is, well, Sojo, the black marks, is that your redaction or is that their redaction? Because it looks like somebody just took a permanent marker and just kind of went over it. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's theirs. That's kind of sloppy, right? That's sloppy. We're going to go ahead. We're going to look at this. Sojo, I don't see yours right now on here. If I open it with Google Docs, I bet it will show your notes though. So let me look. You guys give me just a second. Anybody else's internet been really slow? I know. I've never seen a redacted version of anything. Just a like marker, just pew pew pew. That's taking a long time to open it in Google Docs. So I'm going to back it up. We'll just do it like this. Okay. All right. The date, May 19th, 2015. Springdale Police Department, offense report, crime incident. So trigger warning really quick. We are going to go over the report, and I do believe there are parts of this report that may be triggering. So here's your warning, you guys. So it says sex offense, forcible fondling, County, Washington. The report date, the name, Jim Bob Duggar. Department class, sex offense, forcible fondling. State class, sexual assault, second degree, I guess, sexual sex offense. Suspect arrestee information. And obviously the adult, the juvenile, this is marked out, but that's going to be Josh, obviously. All his information, it is redacted apparently because this is their redaction. The case number, the city, Rogers, Arkansas. Victim information. So this would be the first. I think this is the first victim information. Let me see. No, this is witness information right here. Okay. So victim information. It has it marked out, obviously, Springdale, email, white, individual. I don't see anything here that would tell me. Like everything is, it just says Springdale, white. I don't see anything here that would really tell me anything. Okay. The second one, Springdale, white, NA, individual. Third, Springdale, white, NA, individual. Springdale, white, individual, NA. Am I tripping here? City, Fayetteville. Single, individual, none. Injury extent, none. Injury, none. Caution, none. White. So, Joe, am I missing something? It's redacted pretty good. It got snuffed out because of who they were. Yeah. I was of the understanding that there was a date attached to this, but I'm going to keep going. Maybe the date is further down. I'm not sure. All right. Alias names, birth date that is redacted, adult, James Robert Duggar, an address. There's a birth date, but this person was 41 at the time. Who's James Duggar? Eli, you need to go to bed. You got school tomorrow. Go brush your teeth. Shit, wait. That's not Jim Bob's first name, is it? Jim Bob's first name, is it James? Maybe it is. I don't know. All right. Michelle Duggar. So she is other person's information. Oh, wow. It is. Okay. Jim Bob. How did I not know that? Well, Robert is, yeah, people that has the name Robert, I think. I don't know. That's wild. I never knew that. All this time that I watched them while growing up and that I've covered them, I had no idea that the dude's real name was not Jim Bob. How crazy. Okay. Other persons. Other person or business. All of this is redacted. There's no telling information here. Other persons, redacted. There's nothing here where I could. Springdale Police Department offense report. Other persons. Everything's redacted with our little permanent marker. So wild. Other persons. These other persons, would these be people that were at the police department, like helping take statements, or no? Other persons, other person, other persons, other persons. Other persons. Okay, here we go. Narrative. So reported by so and so. The alleged victims are blank, 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 who live with their parents, Michelle and Jim Bob. The caller says that they are total in the home, blank total in the home. The caller says that the family is not willing to tell anyone this unless they find out. The caller says that they found out this and asked the family about it. So the parents told them about it with blank sitting right there. The parents said that 3.5 years ago, blank was blank, admitted to blank, blank. They said that blank had been fondling blank the boobs and the lower area when they were sleeping from the time blank was blank. They said that blank also admitted to fondling blank outside the home on her breast. I gotta make my. If I can hear him, he can probably hear me. I'm so sorry, you guys. Hold on. This is the hard-headed one that don't listen. Hold on. Eli, bedtime. Thank you. God love him. He don't listen. All right. Sorry, guys. They said that blank also admitted to fondling blank outside the home on her breast. The father said that he went to a state trooper and reported this, but no report was ever filed. We know why. That state trooper was the one that ended up being arrested for very similar charges. The caller says that the father knew this trooper beforehand, but they did not know how well. The caller says that the parents put blank in some type of rehab place for 3 months in Little Rock, but it was not a rehab for sex offenders. And then blank came right home. The caller is concerned that this was never reported and blank never received treatment. All right, so on Thursday, December 7th, 2016, at approximately 1317 hours. I don't know how you say Army military time. Detective D. Hignite was called by State Police Investigator W. Taylor in reference to an update. Detective Hignite was called by Investigator Taylor. Investigator Taylor stated that she called and made contact with Mrs. Duggar in reference to bringing blank Josh in for an interview. Investigator Taylor stated that she was told that the Duggar family was in Chicago, Illinois, and will not be back in Arkansas until Monday, December 11th, 2006. Mrs. Taylor stated that she requested that Josh be brought to the Springdale Children's Safety Center for interview on Tuesday, December 12th, 2006. Ms. Duggar stated that she will discuss the matter with her husband and call Ms. Taylor back. She wasn't like, okay, yeah, we'll have him there. She was like, well, I got to get permission from Jim Bob first. Like, I'll call you back and let you know if we're going to do this. Okay. So a few days later, on Tuesday, December 12th, at approximately 900 hours, Detective Hignite met with State Police Investigator W. Taylor at the Springdale Children's Safety Center in reference to interviews with the Duggar family. Detective Hignite made contact with Investigator Taylor about the incident. Investigator Taylor stated that blank have arrived and a blank blank. Detective Hignite asked how this report was disclosed. Investigator Taylor stated that an undisclosed person had written a letter approximately 3.5 years ago describing an incident where blank had been essayed had been essaying blank. The undisclosed person placed the letter inside of a book. It is unknown who wrote the letter, and Jim Bob and Michelle will not disclose who wrote the letter. The book was loaned out to a member of the Duggars church, and the letter was found. The Duggars had traveled to Chicago, Illinois to appear on the Oprah show last week. The Oprah show had received an email from a female that warned the show about the Duggar family. Do we know who this is? Do we know who contacted the Oprah Winfrey show? Because I have my guesses, but I'm not going to say who I think may have done it. The Harpo Studios had faxed the letter to the Department of Human Services hotline. The report was then opened for investigations. Investigator Taylor gave Detective Hignite a copy of the email and also the personal information on the Duggar family. The interviews were then started. Plead the fifth. Yeah. On Tuesday, December 12th, 2006, at approximately 900 hours, Detective Hignite was given a copy of an email that was sent to Harpo Studios in Chicago, Illinois, in reference to the Duggar family. Detective Hignite looked over the email and noted the following. The following is a summary of the email. The fax is stated the following. All right, so before you air the Duggar family from Arkansas with blank, you need to know the truth. They are not what they seem to be. Blank has molested blank while they were sleeping, and the parents have been hiding their secret for a long time. Jim Bob lies to his church and his friends to make him look good. At this moment, he is in trouble with the church for lying about Josh and things that concern the way the church members reacted. I think that you should know the truth before they make a complete fool of you and your show. They have been on TV before and came across as a perfect family, which couldn't be further from the truth. They jump from show to show to receive gifts for their family and make them look really good too. Please consider this and confront them about their secret. Oh wow. So to me, you know what that makes me think, honestly, I have my thoughts on who probably sent the letter, but I could be wrong. But I'm wondering if this person was like, if you're gonna have them on, ask them about it. Do you guys know how that would have? I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if you could have done that, like have them on and then just start asking them all these questions. Like, well, what about Josh? What's going on with Josh? We heard that Josh, but then it still would expose, the girls, All right, let's continue. Narrative number 6. On Tuesday, 12/12/06 at approximately 9:45 a.m., James and Michelle Duggar, I'm going to call him Jim Bob. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar were interviewed at the Children's Safety Center in Springdale, Arkansas. The Duggars had brought blank Josh to the Safety Center to be interviewed in response to all the allegations that had been received by the Arkansas State Police Child Abuse Hotline. The allegation was in regard to blank blank fondling blank. Jim Bob said that in March of 2002, blank, who had just came to him very upset and crying. Jim Bob said that blank had told him that blank had been sneaking into their room at night and had been touching blank on their and lower area while they were sleeping. Apparently, blank were sleeping in a common room at this time. Blank told Jim Bob that this had occurred 4 to 5 times and had occurred once as one of the blank was sleeping on the couch. Apparently, blank had always been asleep when these incidents occurred. James said that when blank later told blank what had occurred, blank had said that blank remembered one time when blank woke up and blank was taking blank's blanket away, but did not remember anything else. Jim Bob said that in July of 2002, blank admitted to him that one night as blank was sleeping, blank had gone to the couch where blank was sleeping and had fondled blank's breast as blank slept. Blank was later identified by Jim Bob as blank. Jim Bob said that they disciplined Josh after this incident. Quit that, Pluke. Come here. Jim Bob said that about 9 months later, in March 2003, there was another incident. Jim Bob said that blank was reading to blank, and blank was sitting on Josh's lap, and Josh had touched blank's breast and vaginal area. Jim Bob said that Blank then ran out of the room and called Blank and told Blank about what Josh had done. Jim Bob also said that sometime during this time frame, Blank had been standing in the laundry room and Blank had put Blank hand under Blank's dress. Jim Bob said that after these incidents, he had met with the elders of the church and had told them what was going on. Jim Bob said that they all agreed that Blank needed to be put into a treatment facility. Get off her. Leave her alone. Come here. Come here. Ow. Ah, that's my hand. Okay, let's see. I lost my room. I lost my place. Ow. Jim Bob said that one of the elders was a chaplain at a Piney Ridge program at Vista Hospital. Pluto. Ah. Nope. Girl, quit it. Sorry, she's trying to play. Hold on. No, ma'am. Okay. I'm sorry. She's wanting to play. Flute. I'm sorry, Flute. Okay. So Jim Bob said that after these incidents, he met with the elders of the church and told them what was going on. Sean, can you come get Pluto? I'm so sorry. I called Daddy on you.
Come on. Come on.
Jim Bob said that they all agreed that Josh needed to be put into a treatment program. Jim Bob said that one of the elders was a chaplain at the Piney Ridge program at Vista Hospital. Jim Bob said that they had concerns about the program at Piney Ridge because they felt Josh might be exposed to other offenders and other things that they did not want him exposed to. Jim Bob said that one of the elders was an ex-prison guard and told them that some of the programs for juveniles were finishing schools where juveniles learn how to offend from other offenders. Jim Bob said that they found out about a Christian program in Little Rock, which they felt more comfortable with. Jim Bob said that he could not remember the name of the program, but that it was conducted by a Christian ministry in the old Veterans Hospital in Little Rock, and that the man who ran it was Harold Walker. I can barely see. Let me blow this up a little bit. Jim Bob said that he thought that the program was affiliated with the Little Rock Police Department since they had a station in the same building. Jim Bob said that the program consisted of hard physical work and counseling. Jim Bob said that Josh was in the program from March 17th, 2003 until July 17th, 2003. So 4 months. He was gone for 4 months. Am I right? March, April, May, June, July. Yeah. Jim Bob and Michelle said that they were both comfortable that nothing had occurred since Josh went through program in Little Rock. They both felt that Josh no longer had any problems and all of this had been resolved. The Duggars said that Josh had apologized to blank, 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 and blank, and that they had forgiven him. Jim Bob said that several members of their church were aware of the situation and had been supportive of the family. I asked the Duggars if they knew how this come up at the time. They said that at the time these things occurred, a family friend who was aware of what happened had written down in a letter what he knew of Josh's actions with, I guess, the girls. That letter had been placed in a book and subsequently been forgotten about. Just recently, the book had been loaned to someone else with the letter in it, and the person who discovered the letter had called into the hotlines. The Duggar declined to identify who wrote the letter or who found it. I bet I know who wrote the letter. I think. I asked the Duggars if any of this had ever been reported to the police.
Did you text any of the mods?
Yeah, they're here.
No, I don't think any.
Well, I saw Cece, I saw Candy.
I just saw where like 4 comments weren't approved, and I'm scrolling back. I don't see any.
I saw Cece and Candy a while ago.
All right. Well, I'm working on the studio, so I'm not really. I mean, I can hear you, but.
Yeah, there's Cece and Candy. I see them. Okay.
All right. Oh, I can see.
I asked the Duggars if any of this had ever been reported to the police. Jim Bob said that Josh had spoken to a state trooper after Josh had returned from the program on Little Rock. Jim Bob said that he knew a corporal Hutchinson's with the Arkansas State Police. Jim Bob said that he knew Hutchinson's because he used to be a car dealer and corporal. Hutchinson's was a state trooper who inspected car dealers. Jim Bob said that after Josh returned from Little Rock, he and the church elders decided to contact the police about Josh. Jim Bob said that one of the church elders, he and Blank had gone no, it's chaplain, not corporal. That's chaplain. Is it chaplain? Had gone to the chaplain, yeah. Hutchinson's office at the state police headquarters, and that Blank had admitted to, no, it must be corporal. Had admitted to corporal, I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to skip that part. Had admitted to Hutchinson what Josh had done. Jim Bob said that Hutchinson gave Josh a very stern talking to about what might happen to him if he continued such behavior. Jim Bob said that Hutchinson told Blank that since Blank had already put Blank through a treatment program, there was nothing else to do. I asked the Duggars where they lived when all this had occurred, and they said at the time they lived at blank blank in Springdale. I explained to the Duggars that after Blank were interviewed, a detective would have to interview Blank, and they had no problem with that. They indicated that they thought Blank would be cooperative in any interview. The interview was terminated at approximately 10:20. On Tuesday, December 12th, 2006, at approximately 900 hours, Detective Hignite made contact with State Police Investigator W. Taylor at the Springdale Children's Safety Center in reference to victims and witnesses' interviews with the Duggar family. Detective Hignite and Investigator Taylor went over the report and then started the interviews. The following is a summary of the interview with Blank at approximately 900 hours. For the detailed interview, a transcript or DVD of the interview can be requested. Investigator Taylor started the interview by getting to know Josh. I'm assuming it's Josh. Investigator Taylor started by drawing Blank's face on a sheet of paper. They drew a circle and placed eyes, nose, and hairs and ears on the drawing. Investigator Taylor then asked Blank who Blank lived with and what type of home Blank lived in. Blank stated that Blank lives in a house with Blank's mother, Michelle, dad, Jim Bob, and Blank. Investigator Taylor asked Blank to name all Blank said has. Their names are blank, 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 blank. Their names are blank, 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 and blank, blank. And they also have one dog named Jasmine and 6 cats. Holy crap, you got that many kids? Why do you need that many cats? Investigator Taylor asked Blank what Blank liked to do for fun. Blank said he likes to play broom ball with Blank family. Blank said Blank also likes to read. Blank said Blank likes to read adventure stories and, this is the interview with one of the girls, I guess. And princess stories. Investigator Taylor asked Blank, let me scroll up. Okay. Investigator Taylor asked Blank if Blank goes to school. Blank said Blank is homeschooled. Blank said Blank mother is a teacher. Investigator Taylor asked what Blank's favorite subject in school was. Blank said Blank likes spelling. Investigator Taylor asked Blank least favorite subject was, and Blank said it was math. Investigator Taylor then asked if Blank knew why Blank was there for the interview and if anyone had talked with Blank about it. Blank said Blank talked with Blank and explained to Blank why Blank was coming in for an interview. Investigator Taylor asked Blank to tell Blank about it. Thank you so much, Junebug, for the super sticker. Thank you. Blank stated that some things happened 4 years ago. Investigator Taylor asked what happened, and Blank stated that Blank in 2002 or 2003 had touched Blank improperly. Blank said Blank was asleep in the living room and halfway woke up. Blank said Blank thought blank needed a blanket. Blank said blank did some bad or wrong things to blank. Blank said blank could not remember. Investigator Taylor asked blank, did this? Blank said it was blank. Investigative Taylor asked what happened, and blank said that blank was half asleep and did not remember. Blank said it happened 4 or 5 years ago. Blank said blank was in a chair in the living room. Investigative Taylor asked why blank woke up, and blank said it felt like someone was trying to take the blanket. Blank said when they woke up, blank dropped onto the floor. Blank said it happened sometime during the night. Blank said no one else was in the room. Blank said blank's clothes were on. Blank said blank's clothes were also on. Blank stated that blank did not know what blank was doing until later. Blank said blank told blank, and then blank later confessed to what blank had done. Blank said blank confessed that blank did some things wrong. Blank stated blank confessed to blank and the elders of their church on March 30th, 2003. Blank said blank was then sent to Little Rock to a training facility. Blank said blank did manual labor and had Christian counseling. Investigative Taylor said blank what blank told their parents. Blank said blank didn't know. Blank said blank later spoke to the victims and asked for forgiveness for touching blank improperly. Blank said blank also asked forgiveness for having wrong motives. Blank said blank told them it was not supposed to be. Blank said blank told blank touched blank over their clothing on their breast in private. Investigative Taylor pulled out an anatomical drawing of a female. Investigative Taylor circled the breast and vagina on the drawing and asked what blank called them. Blank called breast and the vagina private. Blank said blank thinks that blank touched blank on the breast while blank was sleeping. Investigative Taylor asked blank if there were any places on blank's body that blank was not to be touched. Blank stated that blank was not to be touched anywhere between the neck and the feet. Oh, nowhere. Okay, I like that. Blank stated that no one else had ever been touched blank that way. Taylor asked if anyone had ever asked blank to touch them or make them do anything that they did not want to do. Blank said no. Investigator Taylor asked what blank said blank did. Blank said blank did not go into detail. Blank said blank just told them that Josh touched blank and blank was sorry. Blank said blank touched blank and blank about the same time and touched blank later. Well, that tells you right there there's 4. Touched one person, and then around the same time touched somebody else later. Investigative Taylor asked how blank had been since blank had come back from training. Blank said things are better and said that blank and the family are all separated more and parents are more aware of what's going on. Blank stated that blank is more tame since blank come home. Investigative Taylor asked if there were anyone else blank had done this to. Blank stated that blank said blank name is blank. Blank said blank is blank. Hey. Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much. Whew. Investigator Taylor asked what happened. Blank said blank heard this from blank's father. Blank said blank was at their house babysitting. Blank said blank fell asleep on the couch and blank touched blank on the breast. Blank said blank touched blank over the clothing. Blank said blank did not see blank do this. Blank said blank confessed to doing this later. Investigator Taylor asked about the sleeping arrangement. Blank said that the boys have their own room. Investigator Taylor asked blank if blank had any worries, concerns, or if blank was scared. Blank said no. Investigator Taylor came out for follow-up questions. Detective Hignite asked Investigator Taylor to ask blank what address the incidents happened and when. Investigator Taylor asked blank where the incidents happened. Blank said they all happened when they lived on Johnson's Road in Springdale. Blank said they moved to the new house in Tawnytown January 20th, 2006. Investigator Taylor asked if they lived in any other home. Blank said that when they moved out of the home on Johnson's Road, they moved into a rental home at blank 48th Street, whatever, and that nothing happened at that address. On December 12th, 2006, at approximately 900 hours, Detective Hignite made contact with State Police Investigator Taylor at Springdale Children's Safety Center in reference to victims and witness interviews with the blank. Detective Hignite and Investigator Taylor went over the report and then started the interviews. The following is a summary of the interviews with blank at approximately 1000 hour. I don't know how you say that. 10 whatever. What would that be? 8:20. For the detailed interview, a transcript or DVD of the interview can be requested. Investigator Taylor started the interview by getting to know blank. Investigator Taylor started drawing blank space on a sheet of paper. They drew a circle, placed eye, nose, hair, and ears on the drawing. Asked her where she goes to school. Said she was homeschooled. Said the mother was a teacher. Asked her favorite subject, his spelling. Least favorite, it was math. Asked who they lived with. Lived in the house with their mom, Michelle, and Jim Bob dad. So they have one dog named Jasmine and 6 cats. They didn't want to name the cats. I guess it was too much. They only confessed with what was required. Yeah, because we found out later during the trial that it was much more. Like there was a lot more. They asked, Investigator Taylor asked blank what they like to do for fun, play broom ball with the family, also likes to do activities with the family. They asked blank if they knew why they was there and if anyone had talked to them. Said dad had talked to them about it. Investigator Taylor asked blank, what the dad told them, and they said, I don't know. Investigator Taylor asked if they knew why they was there. Oh, I already said that one. Investigator Taylor asked if something happened. Blank said some things happened a long time ago. Blank said that blank had touched blank inappropriately. Blank said that blank was having moral struggles. It said that blank was blank. Blank said blank felt bad about it. Investigator Taylor said that blank told their mom and dad about what happened. Blank said that he had asked for forgiveness, that he was sent away for 3 months, and then went to a training center, and blank said blank sought after God and had turned back to God. Investigator Taylor asked blank what had happened to blank. Blank said blank did not remember much. Blank said blank apologized to blank for what he had done. Blank said that when this happened to blank was in blank room. Blank said blank was walking through and blank started scratching blank back. Blank said blank's clothes were on. Blank said blank was touched. Blank said blank felt bad about it and told their parents. Blank said blank told them that blank had been touched blank on the chest. Investigator Taylor put out an anatomical drawing of a female, circled her breast and vagina, and asked this person what they called it. Blank called the breast, and the vagina private. They asked this person, this minor, if anyone had ever asked blank to touch them or make them do anything they didn't want to do. They said no. Investigator Taylor asked if there was anyone else blank had done this to, and blank said no. Blank said that blank apologized to blank for touching blank inappropriately. Blank said that blank thinks that blank did not touch blank and did not know anyone else. Where are we at? Investigator Taylor asked if anything had happened since blank had come home from blank treatment. Blank said no. Blank said blank is trying to follow God. Blank said even if blank see an immoral picture, blank tells their parents. Blank said blank is trying to do better. Blank again said nothing had happened since blank had been home. Investigator Taylor asked blank if there was anywhere on blank's body where no one should touch. Blank said on the chest, buttocks, and private. Investigator Taylor asked blank if blank had any worries, concerns, or if Blank was scared. Blank said no. Investigator Taylor asked Blank what address the incidents happened. They said it happened at the same residence, Johnson Road in Springdale by First Baptist Church. All right. My mouth is getting dry. Yeah, they were very sure to say like, oh, he apologized. Um, he's on, you know, if he sees an immoral picture, he tells our parents. Like they were coached, no doubt, they were coached on how to respond. Surely, December 12th, 2006. Detective Knight made contact with State Police Investigator Debbie Taylor at the Springdale Children's Safety Center, reference to victims and witness interviews with the blank. Detective Knight and Investigator Taylor went over the report and then started the interview. The following is a summary of the interview. At approximately such and such time for the detailed interview or transcript, DVD of the interview can be required. So Taylor started the interview by getting to know blank. Detective Taylor or Investigative Taylor started by drawing blank's face on a sheet of paper. They drew a circle, placed eyes, nose, hair, and ears on the drawing. Investigative Taylor then asked blank who they lived with and what type of home they lived in. Blank stated that they live in a house with their mother, Michelle, and their dad, Jim Bob. They also said they have one dog, Jasmine, and 6 cats. They also named all their siblings. It's just all marked out. Investigative Taylor asked what they like to do for fun, like to play broom ball with the family. They also like to ride bikes with the family. All of these kids like broom ball. I don't even know what it is. Hold on. No? Are you asking me if I notice anything? Investigative Taylor asked blank if blank goes to school, said that they're homeschooled by their mom. What's your favorite subject? Asked blank what blank's favorite subject was in school. Blank said blank likes being with blank family. Investigative Taylor. So Joe, I'll send you the link if you want to come on. I'm lost again. Let me see the link. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. I gotta find her email again. Hold on. 2 seconds, guys. Give me 2 seconds. We're gonna bring Sojo on, and I'm gonna continue to read it. And why am I not seeing your? Oh, maybe this is it. No, that's not. Sojo, email me your email because the one that I got, it's not pulling up. Wait, no, I said, hold on. Yeah, that's got to be it. Yeah. Okay. I'll just caps lock all that. Babe, if I bring Sojo on, will I need a headset or anything? Oh, just saying thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Ah. We'll continue while Sojo shows up in the back door, and I think I hear my hubby because I think I have to have like earbuds or something in when somebody comes on. I think.
What'd you say?
Sojo's gonna come on. Do I need earbuds or something? If she joins.
Yeah, you can plug those in over there, and they're not very long though. It just kind of sucks.
Where do they need to be plugged in up?
They'll only plug in that one spot on top of the tower.
Okay.
And you're gonna have to go to the sound because you don't want her echoing through the.
Okay.
Right click on the sound in the bottom corner. Can they hear you?
Yeah, they can hear me.
Okay, the little sound thing in the bottom corner.
Oh, over here.
The speaker, yeah.
Right here, this thing?
Yeah, right click on that.
Oh, that's a
right click. Sound settings.
Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I am going to set it up so when Sojo comes on, she'll be about to pop on.
Headphone. No. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Now go down. Yeah, go down and see what microphone you're on.
This one.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You're good.
Okay. Should be good. We'll find out.
Turn this down just in case.
Guys, yeah, go ahead and give me a thumbs up while we wait. I'm going to continue reading. I'll see Sojo when she pops up in the back. Just whenever you're ready, Sojo. That's bright, babe. Am I dark?
Yeah, it's kind of dark.
Okay.
I think it's better lit up, huh?
Okay. Investigative Taylor put out an anatomical drawing of a female and male body parts for identification. Identified the body parts on the female's head, hair, mouth, breast, belly button, vagina, private, feet, neck, back, buttocks, private, and leg. Blank identified the body parts on a male as eyes, nose, chest, unknown, hand, penis, private spot, knee, foot is a toe, head, back of a head, arm, buttocks, private spot, and feet. When Taylor asked about touches, investigator Taylor then asked about touches blank likes to get. Blank said blank liked it when blank's dad rubbed blank's back. Blank then said blank did not like tickles. This must have been the 4-year-old. Blank said blank's dad tickles blank's tummy. Blank said blank did not like blank to tickle blank. Blank said blank should not be tickled. Investigative Taylor asked, let me see where we're at, asked blank if there was anyone on the blank body where no one should be touched. Blank pointed to the breast, buttocks, and vagina. Investigative Taylor asked if anyone had been touched. Blank's breast. Blank said sometimes if blank gets hugs. Investigative Taylor asked who gives blank hugs. Blank said from blank's mother and father. Blank said sometimes from blank's friends. Blank said it was okay. Blank said blank is also hugged by blank. Blank said that was okay when blank. Blank said blank was not touched any other times. Investigator Taylor asked if anyone else had touched their privates. Blank said it happened once when blank was reading all the kids a book. Blank said blank was blank and was blank and blank. Said they were in the living room reading the book. Blank said blank was then sent to Little Rock. Investigator Taylor asked blank where blank was sitting when this happened. Blank said blank was on her mother's chair. Blank said they were reading the raccoon book called King Aaron. Blank said blank was sitting on the arm of the chair. Blank was on the couch. Blank said blank was in the room also. Blank said blank dropped the book and ran from the room. Okay, Sojo is on, so I'm going to add her to the stream. And if she wants to take over reading some, she can.
Oh, Lord.
Hi.
Light off me. Jesus.
Can you guys hear Sojo? I can hear you, so we just need to make sure they can hear you.
Ooh, make this small so I don't have to look this bad on
How do we make it
TV?
Small? There you are. There we are. Who was Shine? You better go get Eli. Maybe the dog's getting him or something because he just yelled. Okay. Now let me pull that file back up. How are we going to do this? How does this work? Oh, here we go. Here we go. That's, I've never done this. I've never had other people on with me. Okay. And this would be, this would be Joyanna, right? The one that we're reading about they were reading and.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. Blank said that blank called their parents and told them what had happened. Blank said that blank touched blank on the skin. Blank said blank was sitting down and had pulled blank's dress up because it had a hole in it. Blank said blank had pants on under the dress and blank pulled them down. Blank said blank touched blank's private. Blank said it felt weird. Investigative asked blank to point to where blank touched on the anatomical drawing. Blank pointed to the buttocks and said it happened on the outside. She was coached, though, obviously. Yeah. Investigative Taylor asked how blank got to blank's skin. Blank said blank did not know. Investigative Taylor asked if anyone said blank do this. Blank said no one saw. Blank said blank dropped the book and told blank's mother. Blank said that blank went to Little Rock the next day. Blank said that blank then went to a police officer and told them what happened. Blank said that blank touched blank on the buttocks and not on the breast or vagina. Investigative Taylor asked if anyone asked blank to touch them, and blank said no. Blank said that blank was only touched once. Blank said no one else had ever touched blank. Investigative Taylor asked blank if blank had any worries, concerns, or if blank was scared. Blank said no. Investigative Taylor then asked if anyone talked blank about it. Blank said blank's dad talked with blank, explaining to blank why blank was coming in for an interview. Investigative Taylor asked if anyone had told blank not to talk. Blank said no. Investigative Taylor asked blank what address the incident happened, and blank said it all happened when they lived on Johnson's Road in Springdale. Investigative Taylor asked blank about when blank went to Little Rock. Blank said blank went for 4 months. Investigative Taylor asked how it had been since blank returned. Blank said it's been good. Blank said nothing bad has happened. Blank said blank feels safe at home. Now, they try to make it out like it was like a couple of incidents, but really it happened over a period of years, right? Like it happened more than what they...
That's what I've been led to believe is accurate.
Yeah, that's what I think at the trial we kind of found out that it was actually more. Yeah, I'll say Josh when I know that it's Josh, so it won't be as confusing. But I'll say Josh.
Well, one thing that's important to keep in mind here is that at the time in Arkansas, there was a statute of limitations on, I guess on your site we say scam. So for scam. And that being said, certain levels of SA had a 3-year statute of limitations on it, while other levels of SA had a 6-year statute of limitations on it. Now, what's described in this report would be a 3-year statute of limitations. However, knowing what we know now from trial and things that were released from that, if that's the case, then statute of limitations would not have run out. Catch my drift?
Yeah, because it actually happened longer than what they said, right?
So they talked about digital.
Oh yeah, that's right. So so for the reasons that it was not like over the clothing, it was probably a separate charge, which would be a worse charge, right? Considering
so had the digital penetration been mentioned here, statute of limitations would not have been run out in Arkansas at the time for digital penetration.
Gotcha.
So we learned in trial that that is what occurred. Now, had that been mentioned in this document, statute of limitations would not have been run out. So I had questions about what was in this document and was it left out so that statute of limitations had run? Was it innocently left out?
Right.
Because, again, this went nowhere because statute of limitations had run at the time based on what's in here. But we know that if the whole truth had been mentioned in here, statute of limitations would not have been run out for that one particular.
And they could have charged him. They could have charged Josh, essentially. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And at the time when this came out, he was an adult. When this came out, but not when it was taken, 2006, he was
18?
I mean he was over the age of 14 for sure. Because I think, let's see, I don't know how old he is.
I see the people in the comment section are very intelligent.
Yes, I have smart subscribers. Okay, let me see. All right. This was 2006. So he would have been 18. Yep, yeah. He would have been 18. Okay. All right, this is another report from one of the other victims. I'm still not seeing anything that links an age, but I'm guessing is there anything? Because that's what I always heard, that there was.
I mean, I've read this like 100 times, but it's been a few months. To my recollection, that they did not give identifiers in here. To my recollection, their redactions are pretty legit. There's something about, there was some indicator about age, like for example, so sitting on a lap or whatever. And from there, people started to piece together who they thought it was. Then of course you had to come out and say it was us, and the internet just picked it apart from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, when the report comes out, obviously it was completely obvious that it was siblings. It's right. Obviously it's the siblings, and then that narrows it down to however many female siblings he had at the time. So yeah, I guess then sitting on the lap at that time, he probably only had like a couple of sisters at that time that would have been to the age to where they would be sitting on the lap, and they would identify a foot as a toe. You know what I'm saying? Because I think she identified a foot as a toe, which would be something like my 4-year-old would do. Like, I could ask her like, hey, what is this? I could stick my foot up. She'd be like, your toe. So yeah, I understand. I thought I always heard that it was like an age was left in one of them. So that's what I was looking for. But yeah, I'm not seeing that so far. Okay, so I'll continue. Here is, I think this is the third one. On Tuesday, December 12, 2006, Detective Hignott made contact with State Police Investigator Debbie Taylor at Springdale Children's Safety Center in reference to victim and witness interviews with the blank. They went over the report and then started the interview. The following is a summary of the interview with a blank at approximately 9:17. For the detailed interview, a transcript or DVD for the interview can be requested. Investigative Taylor asked blank what blank likes to do for fun. Blank likes to play. I want to know what this broom ball is. Like, I need to.
Clint tells me about broom ball. I had never heard of it, but Clint was explaining it to me.
Is it like an IBLP thing? Like,
it's not. Apparently, it's not. But it's a game that they played, and one that I had never heard of until
I don't think I've ever
through these documents.
I don't think I've heard of it, but I'm going to look it up afterwards just to see.
I think it's on ice. Like, I think they play it on ice.
Oh, okay. It's everybody's favorite game, so it must be pretty daggone fun.
Well, considering what their options were,
I guess that's true. I guess it's true, right? All right. So Investigative Taylor asked blank if blank goes to school. Said they're homeschooled. Their mother is the teacher. They have math and English in the morning. She was asked her favorite subject. Blank said blank's like spelling. Investigative Taylor asked what blank's least favorite subject was. Blank said it was math. Blank said all the kids are homeschooled. Taylor then asked blank who blank lived with and what type of home blank lived in. Blank stated that blank lives in a house with blank's mother, Michelle, and dad, Jim Bob. They also have one dog named Jasmine and 6 cats. Oh, and then obviously here is listing all the siblings.
Yeah, all 19 of them.
Yeah, all 56 of them. Investigator Taylor asked if there was anything else that blank liked to do for fun. Blank said blanks like to play kickball at home. Investigator Taylor then asked if blank knew why blank was there for the interview. Oh, blank then started to cry. Investigator Taylor handed blank a tissue. Blank said that blank did something to blank 4 years ago. Blank said blank did not remember what blank had done, what Josh had done. Blank said all blank remembers is that blank was on the washing machine and Josh picked blank up and did something to blank. Blank said blank was blank when it happened. Blank said blank did not remember what Josh had done. Blank said Josh had stuck Josh's hand up blank's dress, but did not remember what blank had done. Blank said that blank was later told that Josh had touched blank while blank was sleeping when blank said that said that Josh confessed to, I guess, Jim Bob that Josh had touched blank improperly. Blank said that blank told blank that blank touched blank on the chest and down there. Investigator Taylor pulled out an anatomical drawing of a female. Blank called the buttocks bottom and the breast chest. Blank said blank was told that blank was touched. Blank said blank did not remember any other times. Investigator Taylor asked if there was anyone else Josh had did this to. Blank said blank was sure that Josh did this to blank. Blank said Josh did this to blank. Blank said blank had forgiven Josh and nothing had happened since Josh had been home. Investigative Taylor asked what addresses the incident happened. Blank said it all happened when they lived on Johnson Road in Springdale. Investigator Taylor asked if anyone had talked to blank about the Josh incident. Blank said that their mother and father told them that she was coming to do the interview. Investigator Taylor asked if anyone told blank not to talk. Blank said no. Blank said blank did not know if Josh had did this to anyone else. The interview ended. On Wednesday, December 12, 2006, at approximately 10:55, the state police investigator W. Taylor called in reference to contact with his blank. Investigator Taylor called blank and asked blank to be brought for the interview. Blank said blank did not know if blank wanted to bring Josh in. Blank said that blank would speak to blank and see if blank wanted to talk. I'm going to assume they're saying they called maybe Michelle or Jim Bob and asked that Michelle or Jim Bob, or that Josh be brought into the interview. And Michelle or Jim Bob said that they did not know if Josh wanted to be brought in, or if maybe Michelle said she didn't know if Jim Bob wanted him to be brought in. Michelle said that she would speak to Jim Bob and see if, I don't know. I don't know. Because I would doubt they would give this person like if it was Josh, they would be like, hey, do you want to go talk? Surely. I don't know. Blank said that if blank felt that this incident was a problem, blank would have taken care of it when it happened. What?
Just skip this one.
Okay.
Just trust me on that. Trust me on this. Just skip that one.
Okay. All right. Here we are with another one. Do this one. Is this another one of the girls? Yeah, I think so.
That one's gonna be okay.
Okay. On Tuesday, December 12th, Detective Hignite made contact with state police investigator Taylor at the Springdale Children's Safety Center in reference to victim and witness interviews with the blank. Detective Hignite and investigator Taylor went over the report and then started the interviews. The following is a summary of the interview with the blank at approximately 11:10. For the detailed interview, a transcript or DVD of the interview can be requested. Investigator Taylor then asked blank who blank lived with. Blank stated that blank lives in a house with their mother Michelle and dad Jim Bob and their siblings and their dog Jasmine and their 6 cats. Blank said that blank also lives with maternal grandfather Garrett Ruart. Blank said blank is 82 years old. Blank said they lived in a house in Tawnytown. Investigator Taylor asked blank what blank liked to do for fun. Blank said blank likes the kitchen. Blank said blank likes to cook and come up with new recipes. Blank said blank is in charge if the dinner meal is blank home. Investigator Taylor asked blank if blank goes to school. Blank said blank is homeschooled and trying to get a GED. Blank said blank's mother is the teacher. Blank said blank loves being homeschooled. Blank said blank likes being together with her family. Blank said if blank can get along with blank's brothers and sisters, you can get along with anyone. And I guess if you got that many siblings and you can get along with all of them, you're doing really good.
Right.
It's pretty funny that she said that. Investigator Taylor asked blank what their favorite subject was. Said it was spelling. Least favorite is math. Investigator Taylor then asked if blank knew why blank was there for the interview and if anyone talked with blank about it. Blank said that blank was not sure. Blank said blank mom and dad talked with blank. Investigative Taylor.
You can probably skip that. That's nothing good.
Yeah, they only know bits and pieces apparently. Now the grandfather told the family they did something. 3 months at training center. It took blank to state trooper. Whoever this one is, they do know a little bit more because they knew about the state trooper.
Which, of course, y'all know went to prison for scam, got paroled, and then ended up right back where he was.
So I didn't know that. So I did know he was sentenced to 5 years in prison, 5 years suspended, which means it was federal, right?
I think it was state. It was state, and I can
probably only served. So if
it's state, then you can qualify for parole without serving so much time. With the feds, you have to serve at least 80% of your sentence to get out. And I say that because, like, with overcrowding and things like that, you might get paroled earlier than people would like for you to get paroled. But he actually served time, got out, and then got caught again and had to go back. And like I said,
for the same thing.
Yeah. And, he wasn't supposed to have a smart cell phone. I believe he had a smart cell phone. And he crossed state lines, too, which...
What an idiot.
Which, it's the stupidest thing. And like I said, I'll send you the paperwork for it. But he wrote a letter to the parole board trying to get paroled again. And it's like, it's 101 for what you do not say to the parole board when you want to get out. He literally took no responsibility, tried to blame his grandson. He went into the funniest rant about how his ex-wife set him up and took the house and burned the house down and all that. It's really funny.
I looked over some of the documents of his case, and not only, it was like a crazy amount of times he visited these sites in like a matter of just like a couple of days. It was like 119 times in the matter of like 3 days he went to these CP sites. And then it was on like his work computer when he was a bailiff. He was looking at CP on his work computer as a bailiff.
It's pretty funny. Like I said, I'll have to send you the letter for him playing his case for parole because it was literally hysterical. So
he literally tried to blame it on his ex-wife.
Well, he like said it could have been his grandson, and then he said like his ex-wife. he accused her of stealing stuff and burning their house down, and just it's made for reality TV. It's absolutely
That is
terrible.
wild. No wonder why he didn't even turn in the report. You know what I'm saying? Why he was like, "Oh, Josh, you have a problem."
I mean, to me, I think it's a little too ironic for me personally that of all the people that you turn this into, you happen to turn it into the one cop who also happens to be in your sick shit. Or I'm sorry, your sick sinking ship.
How?
And the irony of that is just, come on.
It's like it being a coincidence is almost like there's no way. Like, did Jim Bob know that this dude was like?
And also, as a cop, he's a mandatory reporter. So,
right,
like, there is no you go to Stern talking to son. So, get out of here. No, that's not how that works. You have to file.
Like, you have to turn it in.
You literally made an oath to serve and protect. Just the whole story makes no sense.
Right. Yeah, that's so wild. But yeah, obviously who's ever interviewed this is, because this is, I think so far this is the only one that mentioned that Josh was taken to speak to a state trooper. So I'm wondering if this is maybe the oldest one. We'll see. Investigative Taylor asked how Blank was since Blank had come home from treatment. Blank said that Josh has been good since Josh has been home.
Also, treatment is
not treatment.
Very generous, yeah, because no, it was not like medical professionals or even professionals. So treatment is beyond generous.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, absolutely. Blank said this entire incident had brought the family closer to God. Investigative Taylor pulled out an anatomical drawing of a female. Investigative Taylor asked Blank if there was anywhere on Blank's body where no one should touch. Blank pointed to Blank's breast and private. Investigative Taylor asked if anyone had touched Blank on those areas. Blank said no. Investigative Taylor asked if anyone had ever asked Blank to touch them or make them do anything. If anyone had ever asked Blank to touch them or make them, I read that twice, or make them do anything Blank did not want to do, Blank said no. Investigative Taylor asked Blank if Blank had any worries, concerns, or if Blank was scared. Blank said no. Blank said the only person that Blank is concerned of is a blank. Blank said Blank is blank. Blank said that Blank just makes the blank uncomfortable. Blank said that Blank had to put blank hand on blank hip in the past. Huh. All right, here is another one. Same date, 11/36, transcript, DVD.
Also, I'm going to point out during one of the separate lawsuits. So when Josh sued Springdale over the leakage of these, the argument was they were so poorly redacted that it was so obviously him that it ruined his life, yada, yada, yada. But if you caught it in the current trial, they argued it's so heavily redacted that you can't prove that it was my client. And the same attorney did both cases. So I'm like,
really?
The math ain't mathin'. Like,
yeah.
Math ain't mathin'.
I didn't know that they made that argument in the latest one. What would even be their point of trying to make that argument that it was too redacted?
Oh, it's so redacted you can't even prove it's my client. Your client literally made a social media post owning it.
Yes, he did, apologizing.
So where were we going with that?
Yeah, that's really crazy. But
embarrassed about that.
I've seen that happen. Like, I've seen lawsuits filed, and in one lawsuit, one thing will be argued, and then in another lawsuit, complete opposite. Like, I think when Without Crystal Ball was sued by Tati Westbrook, I think her thing was like, oh, I'm just a commentator. But then now that she's being sued by Ty Chrisley, I'm a journalist. It was like, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a commentator. Now it's, I'm not a commentator. I am a journalist. So when this come out, everybody was like, what you were just arguing in your last lawsuit, the complete opposite. So like, which one is it? Which I know which one it is. She's not a journalist, but still.
Well, I don't know that case. You know, I don't keep up with like,
mm-hmm.
I'm out of the loop, but
right.
But with cases in general, yeah, people will try different arguments and different things. It's just interesting because it's like, it's so redacted it ruined your life, or it's so unredacted it ruined your life. It's so redacted you can't prove
tell who it is.
It's my client.
Right. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Okay, we'll go over this one really quickly. Okay, yeah, we'll go over this one really quickly. Miss Taylor asked if they go to school, said they're homeschooled. Mother is the teacher. Said that they like school. Asked what their favorite subject was. Said that they didn't. No, asked what their favorite subject was. Blank said blank did not have a least favorite subject in school. Blank asked blank what blanks like to do for fun. They like to build things and work on cars. Investigator Taylor asked if blank had blank's driver's license. Blank said blank did not. Blank said blank just likes to work on them. Also likes to train dogs. They have one dog at home, and blank had trained her. Investigator Taylor asked blank who blank lived with. Stated they live in the house with their mom and dad, Jim, Bob, and Michelle, and their siblings, and their dog Jasmine, who this person trained. Blank said she is an outside dog. Blank also said they have a lot of cats, maybe 6. Blank then asked the child if they knew why they were there, like what they were there doing for the interview. Blank said that they did. Blank said that blank touched blank. Blank said that Josh touched blank. Investigative Taylor asked blank how blank knew this. Blank said that their mother and dad had told them at a family meeting. Blank said they told them that Josh touched blank inappropriately. Blank said that blank did not talk about blank about it. Blank said that they had 2 family meetings about Josh. Blank said that during the first meeting, they talked about how Josh touching the blank inappropriately. Blank said that 1 year later, Josh did it again to blank. Said that blank went away for 3 months. Blank said that blank told the state police what happened, and then blank went to Little Rock for training. Investigator Taylor asked how Josh was since Josh had come home from treatment. Blank said that he had been good since Josh had come home. Investigative Taylor asked blank if there was anywhere on blank's body where no one should touch. Blank said on your private areas. Investigator Taylor asked if anyone had touched those areas, and blank said no. Investigator Taylor asked who babysits when their parents are gone. Blank said that the grandmother or older sisters. Blank said blank does not babysit unless it is for a short time. Investigator Taylor asked if blank babysits for the family. Blank said that blank does sometimes with other family members, with another family member. So they're basically saying that Josh would babysit at times if it was for a short period of time and if other family members were there. That's what I got from that. I don't know. I could be wrong, though. Investigative Taylor asked if anyone talked to blank about the incident. Blank said their mom and dad had told them. Investigative Taylor asked if they asked them not to talk, and they said no. Investigative Taylor asked about the training camp that Josh was sent to. Blank said it was in Little Rock. Blank said that it was a Christian place. Blank said that their dad knows a guy that is in charge of the center. Blank said that Josh went to help remodel a building. Blank said, Investigative Taylor asked who blank told in the church. Blank said that they told the elders of the church. Investigative Taylor asked for their names. Blank said that blank did not want to tell. Blank said that she needed to ask her father. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, you know how it goes. Got to get that permission.
Got to get permission, right? Got to get permission from old JB.
I've got Hutchins' ridiculous letter pulled up, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely go over that in just a second. We're coming close to an end. This is another one.
It's basically the same story over and over again. Essentially, like everyone says, he got sent away. they feel safe now, and it's pretty repetitive. But as you can see, though, the redactions are pretty good. It's just due to who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People work their way through it.
This one also, oh, wow. Investigator Taylor put out an anatomical drawing of a male and a female for body part identification. Blank identified the body parts on a male as head, hair, nose, chest, arm, penis, pee holder.
Just cannot. What I cannot.
A foot is toes, neck, back, buttocks, butt, leg. Identified body parts on a female as eyes, mouth, chest, belly button, vagina, pee holder, knee, kneecap, foot, toe, head, hair, arm, shoulder, buttocks, bottom, feet, foot. This one's obviously a little one, you can tell. Ask about touch-ins, like when mom and dad scratched back, said hugs were okay. They like kisses from mom and dad. But they don't like high fives. Asked if there were any touches they didn't like. No. Asked blank if there was anywhere on the body no one should touch. Said they don't know. Asked if it was okay to be touched on your arm. Yes. Asked if it was okay to be touched on your chest. Said yes. Asked if it was okay to be touched on your pee holder. Said no. Asked if it was okay to be touched on your back. Said yes. Asked if it was okay to be touched on your bottom. Said sometimes. Asked if it was okay if anyone had touched them. No. Asked if someone had touched blank on the bottom. Said when they get in trouble. Said that blank is touched when someone is spanked. Asked if Investigator Taylor asked if anyone had blank to touch them. Said no. Asked about getting spanked. Said that when blank is bad, that mom and dad spank. Investigator asked what they used to spank. Said they had a rod. Investigator Taylor asked if they do this all the time with kids. They said yes. Investigator Taylor asked if they leave any bruising, and they said no. Investigator Taylor asked blank about getting spanked. Blank said that when blank is bad. I think I just read that one. Investigator Taylor asked if blank mother and dad told them why they were there. They were going to ask them some questions. They didn't know anything else. Was unsure what was going on. Asked if they had any worries or concerns since Josh has been home. Nope. Said it's been good at home. Investigator Taylor asked if blank had seen anyone touch someone else's pee holder or chest. They said no. Blank asked if blank's mother or dad questioned blank about the touches. Blank said no. What is this? Contact with Michelle Duggar in reference to an interview. Dr. Hennite handed Mrs. Duggar a business card and asked her to give it to blank for interview. Detective Hignite asked her if they could bring blank to Springdale Police Department tomorrow. She said they will bring blank in on Wednesday, December 13th. Detective Hignite asked Miss Duggar about the training center they sent Josh to. She said it was not really a training center.
You think?
Right? You don't say. Detective Hignite asked if the guy blank talked to was a certified counselor. She said no. She said it was a guy. That. I know, right? No, definitely not.
Really got help there.
Right? No, he just went to help remodel, like just to get him away from kids for a little bit.
Right?
Free labor, exactly. Dr. Hignite asked if the guy was more of a mentor, and she said kind of. They thanked Michelle and ended the contact. Now this is going to be.
And then there's one where the attorney either quits or they obtain one.
I wonder if this one is Josh's. Investigator Taylor asked if blank knew why they were there. This is another interview. I'm just going to kind of scan over it. They said that it was over something that happened 4 years ago, and that blank had apologized for what he had done 4 years ago. And then they state that it all came out because of a letter. Investigator Taylor asked blank to start from the beginning. Blank said that it happened when blank was asleep. Blank said that approximately 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, parents got a call from blank's parents got a call from Jim Bob and Michelle. Blank said they told Blank's parents that they need to talk to them.
Yeah, skip over this.
Okay. On Wednesday, December 13th, Detective Hignite received a call from a private attorney, Joel Huggins, in reference to the Duggar family. Mr. Huggins stated that he had been contacted by Jim Bob Duggar and was asked to represent him. Mr. Huggins stated that he was not sure if he was going to represent them, but wanted to know about the time for interview. Detective Hignite advised him of the schedule. Mr. Huggins asked to reschedule the appointment for Thursday, December 21st. They ended the phone call. On Wednesday, December 20th, approximately 1400 hours, Detective Hignite received a call from private attorney Joel Huggins in reference to the Duggar family. Mr. Huggins stated that he decided not to represent the Duggar family and wanted it to be noted that he is not the attorney of record. Mr. Huggins stated that he referred the Duggar family to Mr. Kent McLemore in Fayetteville. Mr. Huggins stated that he talked with Mr. McLemore this morning, and Mr. McLemore declined to represent the Duggar family. Also, Mr. Huggins stated that he is unaware of who is representing the family. Oh, wow. So they denied. I wonder why. Is that common?
Wash my hands of this.
Is that common?
I mean, did they retain him as counsel or not? They were obviously contacting him, and he was like, "Listen, I'm not retained counsel. These are not my clients. Don't call me with this."
Yeah.
The background story to that, I don't know. I just think
it seems like there'll be something there. Yeah.
No, don't call me.
Because most attorneys, I don't know. I've never heard of attorneys declining to represent someone, even if it's like a case they think they're going to lose.
Well, you can choose not to.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you have meetings and be like, yeah, no. But I think it's interesting because obviously they would only pick certain people for representation. And that person is someone that they obviously would have picked. And that person's still like, hell no.
Yeah.
Not
going to do it. Okay. This one is Detective Hignite called Jim Bob on his cell phone in reference to the interview with Blank. He got called Mr. Duggar and got his voicemail. He left a message. Mr. Duggar called him back. So Detective Hignite can make contact with Blank on Thursday, December 14th. All right, let's see.
Then it talks about the letter written. So we all know about the letter.
Yeah.
And how it was found. But important things to note from this are the narrative, again, because of how statute of limitations apply to that and other information that's come out since. So I think the narrative is important to note. I also think the dates are important to note as far as timeline goes. I think there was perhaps a misconception about when he went and how long he was there.
Yeah.
So if you look at some of these dates, I think you'll see some contradictions between this paperwork and other things that have since surfaced.
Yeah. What is Detective Hignite filled out a family and needs of service affidavit? What is that?
Washington County. So that's the Finn's office. So I'm trying to read it from way back here. I'm blind as a bat.
You want me to read it to you?
So with services affidavit at the Washington County Finn's office. So that's going to be with, if I'm thinking right, that's going to be with the juveniles. But with the Finn's case, I think they're reviewed like every 6 months in Washington County. And so basically it's like checking
So basically, was it like sending someone like counseling or like for somebody to like check up on the girls every few months, like the victims? Is that kind of what it was, or where they would be checked up on, basically? Okay.
Yeah, like it's assisting the family to get necessary help for juveniles, whether that's like counseling or drug and alcohol treatment or things like that.
Gotcha.
You normally don't get too much information when it's involving a Finn's case.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just wondering because I seen that there, and I'm like, well, what is that? Well, all of that's rather interesting. All this time, I thought that it was an age, you know, but I mean, by that you can kind of obviously, you know, it's siblings, and you can kind of pick it up a little bit, but I don't know.
I mean,
I guess I can see
it's redacted pretty good, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I guess I can see now why maybe the judge didn't rule in their favor. Like it was
and when
redacted
we're
a lot.
not on live, the highlights are notes. So when we're not on live, you click those highlights. It'll give you some of this information that you're wanting.
Gotcha.
Get all that for you. But yeah, it's just very interesting looking at how they worded things and said things, especially when you're considering statute of limitations and what would keep you as an expired statute of limitations versus what would put you into the 6-year category.
I clicked on Hutchison's.
Just scroll past all that fill out stuff. It's going to be a typed letter, and it is hysterical.
Here we go.
This is like pure entertainment, like reality TV.
Right,
and it's going to sound like one of the Duggars wrote it. It's kind of like that kind of condescending, I can do no wrong type shit.
It seems like they have that mentality, a lot of them. Like,
oh yeah,
like Josh. Okay, so this is Detective Hutchison's, or Corporal Hutchison's. He was the trooper that Jim Bob and Michelle brought Josh to, for Josh to talk about what he did to the girls. And this was the officer that essentially made the decision to not turn in any reports on Josh, which had he turned the reports in at that time, I'm assuming Josh could have been charged with something, right?
I mean, you'll have to go through my yellow notes on there because, again, it's been a while since I've reviewed all the documentation, but essentially, to me, it sounds like a get out of jail free card. Like, well, I took him to the cops and the cops said,
yeah,
it was fine. So, I mean, I tried.
I did what I could.
But my personal opinion, you take it how you want to, is everything is very calculated with them for sure. And I do not personally believe that certain people would risk reputation and secrecy and security on a whim. So I feel like it looks or appears bad because it almost seems like you maybe took somebody to a certain person that
knowing that it wouldn't go anywhere. Yeah. That's what I'm wondering. I thought this is like, there's no way this is like coincidental. Like,
it's a little too coincidental.
Right. Like, holy crap. Okay, so this is the officer. He was later arrested on charges of CP.
If y'all have it, this is the moment y'all been waiting for as far as free entertainment goes, because this is the free entertainment. And also, after you read this, you're gonna be like, yeah, of course he didn't turn it in.
Thanks, babe. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. In January 2007, I pled guilty to 9 counts of viewing CP in Benton County Circuit Court Division. I was sentenced to 5 years on each count and released on my own recognizance until April 18, 2007, at which time I was sent to Pine Bluff. After 10 months there, I was released on parole on February 19, 2008. I went to my home at Arkansas, The following day, I met with my assigned parole officer, Mike Markham. Mr. Markham and I knew each other from my job as a bailiff for Judge David Klinger, Division 2 of Benton County Circuit Court. Although Judge Klinger allowed law enforcement to open carry in his court, he refused to allow Mr. Markham to have his weapon in court.
Literally does not matter. But
That's what I was,
just wait. He gets into it. It's complete.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm
okay.
allowed to curse on your channel or not, but it's like the most. Just keep going.
When I read that, I was like, "And what does this matter?" This is literally him trying. This is his letter to the parole board
It's literally everything you should not do and say to the parole board. This is like no 101.
On panel, we have the Sojo Files. She's true crime, also covering the Duggar situation. She has a channel. Go follow her, you guys. Okay, so it was my job to enforce the judge's order, and in doing so, that put me at odds with Mike Markham. I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, if a judge has orders that you're not allowed to carry a weapon in his court, do you think this guy's going to try it? I wouldn't even think that he would try it.
No, why would he care? Like, if you know you're not supposed to have it and somebody tells you you can't have it, oops, my bad. Like, but he's trying to say that, you know, Mike had a vendetta against him because he was not allowed to carry at court. You know, like,
definitely what it sounds like. Yes. Okay. My then wife, Regina Hutchinson, accompanied me to that first meeting with Mike Markham. Upon leaving, Regina said to me that it seemed to her like Mark had a great dislike for me. She said, "He will have you back in prison before the end of your parole if he gets half a chance." Here we go. We're setting the story.
He's setting them up.
Here we go. Yeah. I wore the ankle monitoring device for 2 months and signed up for my post-release counseling requirements. I drove to Fayetteville weekly for the first year and once a month thereafter for the remaining year. During this entire 2-year term, I never missed any appointments, paid all my fines in full, passed every drug test, and paid $30 for each counseling session plus $25 monthly for the probation cost. I received a notice from SOSRA. Do you know what that is?
Secretary of State. Wait, what are we looking?
SOSRA, Secretary of State. I guess.
No. That's not right. I just want SOS. It's an acronym, but no, I mean.
Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay. I received a notice from someone at the time of my initial release that I had been assigned a level 3 sex offender status. My crime had been viewing images from the internet. There were no instances of attempting to contact anyone, and certainly no cases of physical nature or contact.
Oh yeah. Sorry. SOSRA is Department of Corrections.
Okay.
So it's one of the prisons.
Gotcha.
Like a unit within the prison.
Yeah, basically he got a letter telling him he was assigned a level 3 sex offender status. That was his status. Joseph Rosenweg of Little Rock petitioned in Pulaski County Circuit Court to lower my assessment level to 2. The motion was granted March 2009. After the hearing, the judge in the matter stated that it should have never been a level 3 in the first place. Okay. I informed Mike Markham of this at our next meeting, and he went nuts. Okay. Ranting and raving and even alluding to the fact that the judge must have given me special consideration because of my background in law enforcement. To my knowledge, the judge did not know I was retired from the Arkansas State Police. My 2-year parole period. During this time, February 2008 to March 2010, I lived in my home in Bella Vista and remained married to Regina Miller Hutchinson in name only. What? She became increasingly distant. There was no physical relationship. She was gone much of the time.
To the parole board. To the parole board, y'all.
This is where she was gone to?
No, like he's writing this to the parole board. And so
yeah. I'm like, wait, that's where she was at? I don't blame her.
I agree with me because
he's crazy.
And my wife says, yeah, that cop's going to set me up now that I'm out on parole. And then now we're going to talk about my wife. Like, she lives at my home and we're married. You know, But we're not, she's increasingly distant. We're not having relations. But what?
When you write, I've never had to write to a parole board, but I would imagine you would have to, it would be nothing like this. It would be, these were my crimes. This is the lesson that I learned. I take full responsibility. When I get out, I plan to do X, Y, Z, become a member, a contributing member of society.
I have personally protested parole for someone 6 times. So it's just funny, like, this is everything you should not say when you're trying to get parole.
It's wild.
Oh, it's about to get even better.
Her frequent complaint was that I had caused her great embarrassment. Regina had 2 daughters by previous marriage. During all the investigation process, both of them were interviewed by prosecutors. There was no hint of any sexual misconduct of any kind at any time. Computers in the house. At the initial home inspection in 2008 before my release, there were a total of 3 computers in the house. Regina had a personal laptop, plus there were 2 PCs in the spare bedroom and in a sitting room adjacent to the master room. We were told they would all have to be password protected. I admit that I have full access to the computers, ordering from Amazon and buying and selling on Craigslist and eBay. Did he just admit to violating?
You cannot make this up. This letter it's only going to get better. He's not supposed to have internet access, but listen, the computers are supposed to be password protected, and I will admit, I was on them. There were several in the house. I was on them. Sorry, stuff on Amazon and eBay. Like I'm
being truthful.
Like, it's not a big deal on the internet, anyways.
Brownie points for being truthful to you guys. When I got out, I was told not to do something, and I did it. Sorry. Perfect reason why you guys should let me out now. Wow, this was titled An Unusual Setting. In March, near the very end of my parole period, Regina said that I needed to hurry home from a monthly men's business inspirational luncheon in Rogers because she said a man might be coming at 2 p.m. to look at the house. This was about March 17th. Regina said she needed to go to Van Buren to check on her son-in-law and grandchildren since her daughter was deployed with the 188th Air Guard from Fort Smith. This was out of the ordinary since Regina usually went there on the weekends. At 1 p.m., I arrived home and prepared lunch for Regina's mother who lived with us. I was downstairs when I heard a knock at the door. Coming up from the stairs, I was shocked to see Mike Markham along with 6 Bella Vista and Benton County officers. Having a 30-year-long background in law enforcement, I knew this was highly out of the ordinary. I told Mike I was going to the bathroom. As I was headed there, I saw one of the computers was on, and I switched it off. This seemed to bother Mike a great deal. Well, you don't say. Like, oh, there's the computers on. Let me turn that off and hopefully he won't notice it.
I'm not using that. Don't worry, that's not accessible to me.
Oh, my goodness. Oh my God, I can't. After a search of the house, they took 1 computer from the bedroom, but never looked at the other 2. I was not worried about them finding anything. I knew I had not viewed anything that could be considered illegal. Never mind the fact that you weren't supposed to be on at all, but whatever. However, I had talked to a woman I had met in a chat room in Orlando, Florida.
I just can't. This is to the fucking parole board, y'all. I cannot.
What the?
I can't.
What is this titled? What is that? An unusual setting. Yeah, definitely. She and her husband belonged to a swap club there. Does he mean swingers?
Oh, just wait.
She had sent me some sexually explicit pictures of their activities. They were middle-aged with the exception of one woman who she said was 19. I went to Bella Vista to mail a package and then on to McDonald's just north of, this is March 25th. Okay, I went to Bella Vista to mail a package and then on to McDonald's just north of Arkansas-Missouri state line. As I was returning home, a Bella Vista detective arrived saying he needed to take a photo of my truck for their files. as we were
So he
talking,
can't cross state lines. So, hey, it was on the Missouri-Arkansas state line. But, I just had to go to the McDonald's on the Missouri side of things because there's not literally 60 McDonald's I'm going to pass.
oh my God, I didn't think about that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's not supposed to cross state lines, which clearly, okay, wow, to go to McDonald's. So returning home, a detective arrived saying he needed to take a photo of the truck for their files. As we were talking, Mike Markham pulled up and threw me against the wall. He told me I was under arrest for parole violation. The violations were for receipt in my pocket for McDonald's, cell phone which had internet capability, although it was disabled, having access to a computer. Markham also told me that they found images of CP on the hard drive. I made every attempt to tell him that this was not right. I asked for a polygraph, but to no avail. They're not even admissible in court.
They're not even admissible, and beyond that, like if you're not allowed to have internet access, get, what do they call those phones?
A jibber
jab,
a jitterbug, or
a jitterbug. Yes, get a jitterbug or something. Like, why would you even have the iPhone to even look sus? If you're not supposed to have it, I'm getting a jitterbug.
That's what I think that's what somebody had said about Josh, that he would have to get a jitterbug or something. Or maybe that he did. This is so wild. Oh my goodness. At the Benton County Jail, I was interviewed. I freely admitted to using the internet, but I repeated that I had never looked at the 9 images that they claimed had been opened and deleted.
Look, it's a parole violation to use the internet. It doesn't matter what he was looking at, but hey.
Either way he violated. Yeah.
Either way he's in violation, but it's fine because he was just on Craigslist and chit-chatting with someone who's apparently 19.
Sending him.
It's worse. Just. It sounds like the story the Duggars tried to spin when they blamed everyone but the family dog for why CP was on Josh's computer.
Right.
That's where this letter is going.
It was Jasmine. It was Jasmine.
It was one of the 6 cats.
It was the 6 cats. Okay, so the wife, Regina, would not accept any of my calls from jail. My sister, Susie Neal, came on the 3rd day. She was crying and said that Regina had called her and told her to come get my personal effects from the garage because she had them destroyed the following day. This included all of my awards, photos, clothing, etc.
Awards had to go first. I'm just
priorities
right there. The awards, not pictures of my kids. The awards were going to go.
When Susie and her husband went to get the belongings, Regina told her that not 1 penny of the joint money accounts would be spent on any attorney fees. She said to tell me that if I tried to stop either my state police or military retirement income from coming to her, that she would tell the Crimes Against Children unit in Benton that I had molested my step-grandchildren. Now he's putting that out in the air. Holy crap.
Yeah, here's my thing, too. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Write stupid letters like this, get denied.
Oh, my
Why
goodness.
would you even, here's the thing. He's trying to make it seem like his ex-wife tried to set him up, and the cops tried to set him up, and, what's wrong with going to McDonald's? It was just the McDonald's across the street. There's a million McDonald's between Bella Vista and Bentonville.
This is so wild that he admitted all this.
Oh, it's only going to get worse.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so at the Benton County Jail, I was interviewed. Oh, I already read that. So jail in Benton County. While there, I became increasingly despondent and depressed. The publicity was so unfair and so upsetting. Yes, I had violated my parole by using the internet, but I had never looked at any of those images. How could I convince people of my innocence? After 2 weeks, I attempted suicide by diving off the top bunk onto a concrete floor. I was taken to UAMS in Little Rock with 2 fractured vertebrae in my neck and the total loss of hearing in my right ear. While in Pine Bluff, my only child, Kathy Janine Perfect, was my only contact. A career Air Force woman, she checked my banking account, which showed that Regina had been at a bar and grill the night of my arrest, running a tab of $53.
So let me tell you something. Regina earned every bit of that $53 and then some, because if somebody had done that to me, I would have maxed that card out buying shots and rounds for the whole bar. Like, is he really
She was partying
$53 because she was drinking the night away? I mean, come on, dude.
She was partying. Like, oh, he's gone.
You know, she was like, no, I'm getting me a vodka tonic. This has been
I know,
shit
right?
day.
Regina also filed for separate maintenance. This prevented me from stopping all checks from coming to her for one full year. In August 2010, I volunteered to enter the Reduction of Sexual Victims program in Malvern. During this period in Malvern, my sister, Susie Neal, discovered that Regina was selling off boats and depleting our money market account, which had been at over $300,000 at the time of my arrest. At the end of 1 year, separate maintenance was ending. My daughter and husband, Mark, also retired Air Force, flew in from San Antonio, Texas, and filed a divorce petition using the Shane Wilkerson's law firm in Bentonville. More slander from Regina. Within 1 month of the divorce filing, I received notice from the Crimes Against Children unit that Regina had filed a claim alleging that I had molested a step-granddaughter, Shani. Even though I carefully explained all the details to the investigator, I had little hope considering where I was. I thought I had no chance. However, 2 months later, I did receive notification that the charges were unfounded. But believe it or not, 2 weeks following that, Regina filed another complaint, but using another granddaughter as a victim this time. Again, thankfully, these claims too were deemed to be unfounded. In September 2011, I finished my RSVP. Now, this is kind of throwing me off that Regina did this and they were unfounded. Like, what's the deal with that? But still, you don't write this in your daggone letter. Like,
no, you don't write it in there. I mean, and also, they can't release anything on that kind of stuff. So, one, if they really were victims, he just doxed them to literally the entire state, if they really were. And, you know, what are they supposed to do? They can't, it's not like they can go just check and see about this investigation. Like, what? What? Yeah. And let me tell you, I've been in front of our parole board multiple times. For 6 years, I have gone in front of our parole board. I know them. This ain't it for the letter to send to them. Like,
right.
This is not passing the vibe check.
Oh my goodness, this is so wild.
Oh, just wait. She burns the house down, apparently. The house did burn down, y'all, but I pulled like all the deeds and stuff, and it's not the way he tells it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, in September 2011, I finished my RSVP, and in April 2012, I went flat on the 5-year sentence. Benton County picked me up to await trial in July. I was denied bail. My divorce and hearing were both scheduled at the same time. I had no contact from Regina during any of this time. Shane Wilkerson advised me that some of the pictures they were charging me with appeared to be pictures that had been taken at what appeared to be a nudist camp. Nudity, but no sexual conduct. Matthew, my step-grandson, who was 16 at the time, often used that computer when he stayed with us for 2 weeks during the summer in 2009. I was advised by my attorney that unless I could prove that someone else had looked at those images, a jury would assume I was guilty. He said that a polygraph or a voice stress test would do no good. I told him I did not want to plead guilty to a crime I did not commit. The prosecutor was asking for 125 years. He wanted a guilty plea also. After 3 months, Shane came to me with a final offer. If I pleaded no contest, I would be sentenced to 56 years on Class B offense. This would allow time served to be 7.5 years before eligible for parole. I had to think carefully. The Benton County Jail is so bad, one of the top 10 worst in the county to do time. I was isolated 23 hours a day, no books, no radio, etc. Against my better judgment, happier life. Against my better judgment, and to my dying day, I did agree to what had to be a horrible, severe sentencing for something I surely did not do. Regina, detective with Bentonville Police, 12 years. While I cannot say with proof who opened the images on that computer or even what they were, I can truthfully say I did not. Regina was one person who worked for the department and knew firsthand, along with my friend Mike Markham, what it would take to get me back in prison. I know that Mike had the computer in his possession. I know that my step grandson, like other teenagers, may have liked to look at images. Unfortunately, our prison have others like me who are innocent for their crimes. I have served a lot of time. I have spent a lifetime serving the people of Arkansas and our county. I've been a model inmate all these years. I believe there
Did
is
you
no
serve us when someone came to you with a predator and you didn't do shit? Were you serving?
right, right. I believe there's
Regina
no.
the shoplifter.
Did you say Regina the shoplifter?
You're about to get to
Oh,
it.
oh, okay. I see it. I believe there's no societal reason for me to remain in the Department of Corrections. Regina the shoplifter. Here we go. Her character arrested for shoplifting 6 times during our marriage in Northwest Arkansas. Now, it is my understanding more incidents have since occurred in McDonald County, Missouri. As part of the divorce settlement, I signed a quit claim deed on our house valued at $400,000. It is mysteriously burned recently. Is that it? Is that it? Did it just stop?
No, I think you can scroll down some.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, did he just end it there? Like, where?
Surely not. Does it? Does it?
Yeah, it just stops there.
It's been a while since I looked at it. But basically, the guy, like, you're trying to, like, own some accountability and say why you should be out back in society and how you being out's going to benefit society if they let you out early. He says, cop wanted to set me up because he didn't like me because I had to tell him he couldn't carry in the courtroom because the judge wouldn't allow it. My wife set me up clearly. If she didn't set me up, then the grandson
did.
is the one that did it. And then, yeah, this alleged 19-year-old is sending me pictures from a nudist camp, but like, that's totally fine. We're just going to blow past that point, which why did you even mention it?
Right.
Because I'm assuming that those pictures are not what he's saying that they are.
Yeah.
And he's trying to play it off like, you know,
play it off like, oh, yeah.
And then he's like, you know, I just went to McDonald's across the state line. It's just
not
right there. Like, what's the big deal? And
literally, I had to get to that McDonald's. I had to cross the state line. Like I'm here. McDonald's is there. There's a line, but I just needed to get.
I had to have that McGriddle, baby. I had to have that McGriddle, and I couldn't wait.
I had to
3 more minutes to go to another McDonald's because you know there's not one on every corner. What? So then after he does that, it's like, yeah, I know I had access to a computer and I was definitely online using the internet, but I wasn't doing what I wasn't supposed to, even though
being on is doing what you're not supposed to.
Did end up on that computer, and I had a smartphone, which I wasn't supposed to have, but the internet was like, it's endless. Oh, and yeah, by the way, my wife stole all my money, had the audacity to drink $53 worth of alcohol the night I got arrested at the bar. And then allegedly burnt my house down. Oh, and she's a shoplifter. What?
I'm even blown away that he ends it. It's like Regina the shoplifter.
And this is the cop that they took him to. And do you hear all these excuses? Don't they sound familiar to you? Like, you see a pattern of just like these extreme excuses that make literally no sense. And but it just wasn't me. Oh, and I swan dove off the top bunk. And Benton County is the worst jail. What? Like, come on now.
Has he only been up for parole one time? And this is what he wrote?
So there's like, let's see here. Hold on, here's another one. Let's pull it up. He's got the 2 pages.
He had to have the phone because he had to order from Amazon and post on Craigslist.
Right? He had to do that. He had to. You know, like he absolutely had to.
Yeah. I'm curious about these letters written in his defense.
Yeah, me too. Let's see.
I'm gonna read this one. I'm writing to express my support for the release of Joseph T. Hutchison. His parole number. I mean his
this is his daughter.
Inmate number. My name is Mark Perfect. I've been Joe's proud son. He said proud son-in-law for 29 plus years. His daughter, Catherine, grandchildren Shannon and Ryan have been an amazing support system awaiting to greet him upon release. When Joe rejoins our family 20 miles north of the San Antonio, he will also join a close network of great neighbors, friends, and other retirees living in Military City, USA. Wrightsville and ADC Records will show our support system in action over the many years of incarceration, as we have never missed weekly phone calls, letters, and visits, and provided funds to his account every month. As you may know, Joe Hutchison is a retired Arkansas State Trooper, police officer, and Army National Guardsman. Upon his release, he will have a retirement income and only work if he so desires. Knowing Joe, he will most likely spend a few months acclimating back to civilian life while developing his own network of community friends. Our family sees Dad mixing in well with other veteran volunteer programs on base and also rolling up his sleeves to assist our local audiovisual multimedia broadcast team within Community Bible Church. Joe has spent 10 plus years of his life incarcerated. He has lost everyday freedom of life, family, and those precious years that we all dream about after working 40 plus years in a career. Since his incarceration, he has had impeccable record, completed all programs, achievements required for release.
What the hell else is he gonna do? It's not like
right. He's just sitting there.
Like it's literally his only option.
Honestly, I've even been told by people like they do things like this because it passes their time. If not, they're just sitting in their cell. So take classes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Make it look good.
Yeah.
It would help you look good if you actually wrote a letter that was like, and he's a cop. Like, you mean to tell me a cop doesn't know what a letter to the parole board should sound like? This is a cop wrote this.
Yeah, that's even mind-boggling. So crazy. He has never hesitated to reach out, teach, or mentor dozens of younger inmates. We hope and pray you feel Joe T. Hutchison has completed prison time for his actions, is now ready to be proud and productive member of society. We are ready to unite and move forward. I can be reached at this number. And here's one from his daughter. Writing this letter of support. Since his incarceration, he's not only completed programs of training, but also took every internal leadership role that was offered to him due to maturity, background, and overall genuine personality to reach other inmates. It's our prayers that the parole board feels the time served and Joe Hutchison is ready to be released back to a positive environment and supporting community. My father has always been stronghold in my life and the one I've always looked up to. With 40 plus years of police military services, he has always been a stand-up man that believes in accountability for actions, but yet he didn't turn Josh Duggar in. For the past 10
plus of his own.
Yeah, he was doing stuff on his own and he didn't turn Josh in.
Mm-hmm.
For the past 10 years of his incarceration, the roles have reversed, and Dad knows better than most that you can't change the past, nor can you predict the future, but you can learn from mistakes and follow what's in your heart. My father has always been thoughtful, considerate, and the one who taught me about life and how to handle the different obstacles that I would encounter. Sometimes I ponder on how we got to where we are today, but I focus my energy and my family's energy on the way forward. Upon his release, he will reside with my husband and I in Garden Ridge, Texas, a small military town 20 miles north of San Antonio. Our property is large with plenty of projects for Dad to sink his talents and skills into as he adjusted back to civilian life. We're surrounded by great friends and retirement community that already plans to welcome him with open arms. I wonder, do they know?
For the record, on his, and I'll try to keep this G-rated on your channel, like, okay. He didn't report Duggar, but let's just say that his interests online were very similar age-wise.
I read that today, or maybe it was yesterday, that the ages were...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Real similar.
Mm-hmm.
Real Regina, do what you got to do, boo type situation.
And two, it was crazy the amount of times that these things were watched.
He has several charges, like.
Yeah, it was like 119 video or like pictures in like 3 days, 4 days or something. I don't know. Like who's doing it that much? Did they say they had a kid? Yeah, they have 2 kids. They have Ryan and who was the other child they had?
Well, she had 2 daughters from a previous marriage with young children that she. And here's my thing too, like, are we taking him at his word? Like, did she just have the grandkids evaluated after she figured this out? Or, you know what I mean? Like, he just throws all this out there and it's like, sir, no, you did not.
Yeah.
And like, look, he got 56 years, you know, and comparatively speaking, the max for Josh is 20, that he's not going to get anywhere near that. But I'm saying the max is for Josh is 20. Homeboy here got 56 years, so just let that sink in for y'all.
Yeah, so obviously, yeah, like you said, Josh is looking at 20. This dude got 56.
Yep.
So
and like
obviously.
I said, and like listen, Josh is not going to get anywhere near 20. This guy literally got 56.
Josh will probably get like 5.
Yes. Like, I think wishful thinking is 8 to 12, and realistic thinking is, like you said, 5 to 6.
5, 6, yeah.
Yeah. Don't shoot the messenger. We're just keeping it real.
Yeah. I would not be surprised. I mean, you know, yeah. And I'm going to the hearing, you guys. So I'll keep you guys posted. The only thing, though, is it's going to cross over with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation.
I know. I'm going to just put live watch on while we go. You'll have to look at the documents on the media file I sent you, but it looks like there's one victim impact statement that is going to be read for sure. And with these types of cases where the same content is popular content, some of the survivors in the videos or their parents have written statements that get used in cases where those images were used. And I think that is one of the statements, one of the victim impact statements. But I'm curious to see who else will and will not, because you have victim impact statements, but you can also have, you know, like someone get up there and beg for them to go easy on them.
Right. Josh has the opportunity to speak as well and ask the judge for leniency, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like he'll get to make it like, there's no way. Like, you need to just make sure that I don't laugh. He's very interesting in a courtroom.
He's like nonchalant about it all, right? He's just like, whatever.
He's the weirdest defendant. And I'm a big proponent of not judging people in a courtroom. But I can tell you, having sat in many, he was the weirdest behavioral that I've ever seen. Like, he continued to get up from the defendant's table and come up to the galley. There's like a partition galley little wall that separates those participating in the trial versus those watching. And he continuously got up and would come talk to people in the front row. I have never seen that. Ever.
That's very strange. Like,
ever. You know, like,
you would think his lawyers would be like, hey, what are you doing? Sit down.
Stay there. Don't, like, if there was a sidebar, he would get up and come talk at the railing.
What?
I'm serious. If there was a sidebar, if there was like a break, because sometimes they would have sidebars that went on for a minute, he would get up from the defendant's table and walk up. And, you know, I'm row 2, so he's like, you know, 3 feet in front of me. And I'm like, sit your ass down. What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, do you know who all these people are? Go sit down.
Yeah.
And don't get up again.
I'm surprised that wasn't, it may have been talked about, though. Someone may have mentioned, like, that he did crazy stuff like that. I'm not sure, but that's wild.
Someone commented on here that they thought Josh would get 5, but he won't serve all of that. So with the feds, there is no parole. Like, you have to serve 80% of your sentence in the federal pen. It's not a state's case. So if he gets 5 years, he will absolutely have to serve a minimum of 80% of that before he could get out. But so if he talks, just be like, if you laugh, Sojo, I will end you right here. Like, we're not getting out of here.
I pinch you. Did he ever talk to, like, I think I read somewhere that he talked to some of the siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Did he talk to Jill and Derek?
No.
I was actually shocked that Michelle didn't go at all.
Never, not once. I never saw her. She never came, not once. And like I said, Trash Bob did not show up until the defense, till the prosecution rested their case in chief and the defense started to take over. So he was there for like 4 days. And the weirdest thing about that was when we broke for lunch, he got up and held the door open for everyone. I was like, how long do I have to wait to avoid you holding the door open for me?
Jim Bob did.
Yes. Finally, I walked by and I'm like, for real? For real? Like that? Like, what are you doing? Like,
I saw that on the video where they're all coming out. Yeah, he holds the door open for everybody, and then he walks behind them. Yeah. And then there was somebody that walked out, and she's like, "Just a regular person."
Yeah, I was like, well, the thing is, when they at the very end of trial, of course, all the reporters, they rushed out to start reporting. And me, I was like, listen, I'm on my own time. Let me hang back and see what I can hear. And then it got to be personal. And I was like, so at this point, I'm going to leave because there were some family interactions going on. I was like, yeah, this is personal. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So I get down to the bottom of the stairs and realize that they are
about to go
behind me. And there's only one way in and one way out. And they had already all set up. So I'm looking around like, shit, what am I going to do? And they're like, you got to go. So I just covered my face. And, some people were like, don't take pictures. Sojo, don't take pictures. And unbeknownst to me, they had local news live. So thank God I walked out and was like, just a normal person. Do not watch the cameras.
Yeah, I saw that on something where you walked out and you're like, just a regular person.
I was like, don't take my picture. I'm just a normal person. And it's funny because you can hear people saying like, don't. And then meanwhile, there's this news station just rolling. And I'm like, yeah.
All right. Were the Reavers there at the trial?
Yes. The wife was there. Well, daughter and wife were there.
And the daughter is married to Anna's brother.
Correct.
I wonder what the Reavers' thoughts are on this. Like, I know at the bond hearing, Miss Reaver, it was apparent that she was very uncomfortable. But her husband had agreed to this already, and she was going to be supportive of what her husband had already agreed to. But
those transcripts are on there. If you look at those and you look at the full transcript on the file I sent you, it's her talking is very interesting.
From the bond hearing?
Yes.
I was at that one, and I remember it was obvious. I was like, I thought she don't want Josh at her house. Like, she doesn't. Like, you can't pick on that.
Well, that's offering yourself up for slaughter.
And she wasn't aware of everything. I know there was a couple of things that were like, well, you were aware of this. And she was like, I was not aware. I was not aware.
It was very awkward. You could tell that she was like, I'm here because I have to be type.
Right. Yeah.
Situation.
Yep.
But I mean, obviously, you're putting yourself at risk. There's just no way. There's just no way.
Yeah, I don't think Jim Bob told Mr. Reaper the full extent of what was really going on or what Josh had done. And I heard that Mrs. Reaper and Anna Duggar did not get along.
Allegedly, supposedly.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that Mrs. Reaper felt very uncomfortable in her house because Anna came over and just kind of took it over.
She definitely did not sit in the front row.
Mrs. Reaper didn't?
Yeah, she was. Well, the funny thing is, like, I was running out of laundry because, the crime cave's always getting worked on. There's always something going on. And I was running out of laundry and I didn't have time because I was literally getting 1 hour of sleep every single night.
Mm-hmm.
And so one morning I was getting ready and I had this, it's this romper that I wear under a blazer. I've worn it under a blazer decor before. And I have no boobs, so it's like no big deal. So I put it on and I was like, babe, can I go to court like this? And he was like, yeah, I think you've been around the Duggars too long. Like, as long as you're not in a long jean skirt or something, like, you're gonna be fine. And so Miss Reaver was in a long jean skirt. So the second I saw her, I already knew. And then I'm like, oh no, they're gonna be yelling Nike when I walk by because my flat
exposed, yeah. Did you talk to any of them? Or no?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people that I talked to, but I did not. I'll just put it this way. I'm clearly not family sitting
with the family, right?
Right, yeah. So I had family, I had family in front of me and behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and not only that, but I'm, writing a million pages at once and not wanting anyone to look over and see what I'm writing.
Yeah.
And we're in very close proximity. There was one day, and see, y'all know I don't watch the Duggars, or if you don't follow me, I don't watch the Duggars. So there was one day, and I won't say who it was, but there was someone sitting behind me, and I did not know who this person was. And we get on the elevator to leave for lunch or something. And all of a sudden, the cameras come up, and I'm like, I've literally told you not to take, what's going on? And I realized, oh, this must be one of them. So I get as close to this brick wall as possible. I'm like, really? Really? So then I'm on Google trying to figure out which one it was so that I don't do that again.
Let me stay far away from that one.
Yeah, let me not
get close to
that again. Because I'm just trying to leave for lunch. I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah,
I do not want to get caught in any of the stuff. But it was a weird dynamic for sure, no doubt.
Yeah, I imagine so. Vicky said y'all need to both go to the sentencing with low cut tops on.
Hey, I'm down to clown.
Down to clown. It's pretty funny. I don't know what I'm gonna wear yet. I have no idea.
You wear whatever you want. I'll most likely be in a black suit because that's tends to be
I know. Well, I don't know. That might be too long. My daughter just bought the cutest pantsuit for her ring ceremony, and she wore this bright pink top underneath it. That will look so cute, but she's very tall, so it probably.
I mean, if you can wear my clothes, there's definitely multiple options, depending on what
I have to look.
You want to do, but
what I have. But anyways, I'm getting tired. Modest is hottest. And whisper Nike as you walk by the Duggars. There's so many of them.
I mean, yeah, it'll definitely be an interesting dynamic. You'll see it's just different. I mean, there was someone there that was too emotionally attached to the case, which it wasn't me, obviously, but you know, like I think they thought it was hard to be like around, like, you know, around them and like in the atmosphere or whatever. Me, I'm like, damn, I didn't even know who that was. I was just trying to go to lunch a minute ago. So yeah, it was different. It was interesting, and I just, please don't let her wear the same dress to sentencing.
See, I watched them like so crazy because I started watching the Duggars literally like I don't know, maybe when it came out, and I watched it for years. And I remember because, you know, I'm a Christian. I remember thinking way back then, like, oh, this is wonderful that we have like a good Christian family that's on TV that, like, even though I thought they were extreme, like their Christianity and my Christianity is different, you know what I'm saying? But like I was like, oh, they believe in God and they believe in you know, setting standards. And I even thought like the fact that he don't let the kids go on dates unless they have a sibling. I thought like that's a great idea, you know? So there were so many things that I just like kind of looked up to them for. And then to like I remember when it first came out that like, you know, Josh, whatever, I was like, no way, like, there's no way, you know? So I've known of this family, watched them way back when. It's going to be weird, you know, being there, seeing them in person. Also, doing YouTube, I don't know if they've ever come across any of my stuff. So I don't know if they will see me and might be like, oh, yeah, that's the girl that was like talking crap about her.
That's why I cover my face. I wear wigs, like, you know, because I always get unfortunate. Like, I'll go ahead and apologize to you now. Like, guaranteed we get the worst seats. And by worst, I mean, like, we'll be right there. Like, I was like, when this goes bad, what am I going to do? Because, like, I'm surrounded by them. So let me apologize in advance for the bad seats I'm sure we will get.
That'll be all right. When you say bad, do you mean we'll be sitting close to them?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I told
That's
you.
That's good with me.
Yeah, like,
you told me where you said last time. Yeah, that'll be good for me. That won't be bad. Well, I guess it will in the context of trying to take the notes, you know, like.
Yeah, if they've seen your stuff, you're going to be like a foot away. I mean, because we will get there at the ass crack of dawn, because that's how I roll. You know, birds will still be chirping, sun won't be up yet, and they'll unlock the door and turn the lights on for us when we get there. But yeah, like, if they do seating like they did last time, it could be awkward. I guess it just depends on how you feel about that kind of thing. It doesn't bother me because
yeah,
I don't care. But
I wonder who all plans to show up.
I've talked to some of my reporter friends that they will be there. Of course, there's limited seating.
Yeah.
You know, it's very limited seating. But the crew that was there last time, I'm assuming all but one will be back. Mm-hmm. And the one that's not there is at dep trial.
Oh, really?
I'm assuming that person's going to stay at dep trial and not come back.
I would definitely probably stay at dep. I would, honestly, I wish I would have even thought to maybe go to the dep trial. I'm going to start going to this type of stuff. Like, I swear to God, I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to start going to these trials, trying to.
Hey, there's some cool. Come to some Arkansas ones with me, and then, you know.
Yeah, I'm into this.
It's fun if you're into that kind of thing. It's super fun. I know some people are like, "What?" You know, I'm like,
I'm so into it. To the point to where, like, obviously with the Duggars, I covered the Duggars. I've watched it for a long time. So obviously you're going to be, you know, into this. But if I did not have kids and did not work, I would literally just go to court just to go and sit and watch. That is literally me. Like, I love, like, I had to go a while back for a situation, and I just loved sitting there and seeing everybody go up before the judge. And it was like, there was like a divorce that was going on, and there was like protective orders that was going on. And I was just like, oh, I love this. Like, I love seeing all of this. Like, I probably should have been like a court reporter or something. I don't know, somebody that gets to sit in court all day, because I love it.
It's super interesting, especially, I mean, it depends on what you like to do. Like, for me, I do the crime cases, so it doesn't bother me to see and hear the stuff that's going on. I know, like, I'll attend trials where there's people like hysterics, like they get removed for being hysterical. And I'm like, ooh, but
yeah,
it's super interesting, and highly recommended if you like it. Like I said, it'll definitely, and most things aren't as long as what we're seeing right now.
Right. I actually think I'm going to go to the Todd Chrisley versus Without a Crystal Ball. That's next year. I think it's like April.
I don't know anything about that one.
You are so out of the loop on stuff, but yeah, Todd Chrisley suing Without a Crystal Ball, and their trial is set for I think it's April. And I told Sean the other day, I was like, there's a few other content creators in this field or whatever in this.
I'm not in this. I'm not in the
no, you're not.
circle.
Oh yeah.
I'm like I'm over here in Sojo land.
You're in your own little corner over here.
So so entering Duggar, it was like, who the hell is this chick and what is she doing? Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm minding my own business, I'm covering a crime in my state. What's the beef? Like what?
Right. It was so crazy. Yeah, because we've covered certain people's covered the Duggars, and then you just come in out of nowhere, and everyone's like, "Who is this?" And you're like, "I'm me from Arkansas."
I was like, "I cover Arkansas crime. It's an Arkansas crime."
Hello.
Completely unaware that there was this huge
community
Duggar following. Yeah, people were legitimately pissed. I'm like, "Hey, I will give you my documents. I'll help you out."
Yeah,
it's not a competition. I didn't know I was causing problems.
You were Sojo, you were interfering in this situation, okay? I don't know what the heck you think you're doing, but stop. No.
So inconsiderate of me to do that.
I know, right?
I'm so sorry.
It was so wild.
I was messing it up.
So crazy. But yeah. I mean, I'm glad that you do it, because you gave me all the freaking Sojo gave me all the documents for the Duggar files. And literally I didn't have to pay for it, so
there's no need for that money to get spent twice.
I agree.
Yeah, no. And also, like I said, I'm not a Duggar reporter. I covered the Josh Duggar trial. I'm not a Duggar reporter, so by all means, take it and go.
I'm literally there's so much of it. There's so much.
There's so much. There's so much. It's unbelievable how much there is.
It's hard to even know where to start. This was when you started sending them to me, you sent me this one, and I was I looked through this and I was like, okay, this one. But I'm going to be going through this for
it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
But definitely make sure to check all those yellow highlights are no.
I will.
So if you click those are gold. And then when we're in Fayetteville, I'll drive you by Piney Ridge, and I'll drive by all these Duggar landmarks so that you can.
I'm gonna be a tourist, so I'm gonna need you to show me around.
I think we should have a video. I think we should do a drive-by video. I'll be driving, and you can be like, "This is Piney Ridge, and this
Here
is
we are,"
and do a little tour of.
That'd be cool.
But the funny part is, and I do mean this hysterically, they live across from the landfill. Granted, it's a nice landfill, but it's so appropriate. So yeah.
I was looking at a layout,
mm-hmm.
And I was trying to figure out which one which one is theirs. There's a long building here, and then a house back here that looks like theirs.
So there's the main road, and then there's I can send it to you. There's the main road, and then there's the landfill, and then you'll see a road that's right in front of the landfill that divides it. So the first house right there is theirs, and then they have the little shed that Anna and the kids live in, literally a tent.
And there's a pond right beside it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's weird because I know some of these people that own the property around it. So there's a cattle farm around it, and then there's a family that's been there for a long time over here, and then there's the house that other Duggar family members have previously lived in, and then there's a small church at the end of the road.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's nowhere you would casually end up,
I was pretty sure that when I saw, I was pretty sure of the warehouse. I was pretty sure of that one. And I was kind of thinking the Duggar's house, but I wasn't 100% sure. But one thing that I was thinking when I was looking at the layout, I was thinking about the child that got out and how it's kind of a ways for the child
a long ways, and the kid would have had to go by the cow pasture and
a pond,
and that road has dump trucks that fly down it. So like, and there's gates. Like that was a journey. Like I'm not even trying to be funny. Like that was a journey.
And how old was the kid?
I think 4.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, that would be like my daughter. My daughter's
ways. And like obviously, yeah, there's a pond you can drown in. Not to mention cars flying by, and you got the cows. Not that they're going to do anything, but the cows are behind a barbed wire fence. Not good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when I saw the layout. I was like, oh my goodness, this child was walking for a hot minute.
Oh, a hot minute, yeah. Like the landscape, like that took some time. Like it would take a time for a small child to like.
Because the child actually made it to the main highway.
So like the kid would have had to come up from the house, out through the gate, or like sideways to the gate. A ways down, there's the water. I mean, it's a trek. Like, yeah, it's not like the kid went out the front door and made it to the mailbox type situation. It's like it's a football field.
Somebody said, did Jana really deny knowing the child? I doubt that. The only way, I don't think she would ever do that because first off, it's their child. What is she going to be like? Oh, no, not ours. Take the child. Like, I imagine if anything was said, it was because she didn't know. Like, it was because she honestly didn't know the child was out. So when they maybe pulled up or called or so, was like, hey, we have a child. She'd probably like, oh, no, not ours because we have all of ours. Like that's the only thing that I could think of because Jana is one of the ones that like, you can tell, like, she just seems so sweet. Like she seems afterwards, she even put out something saying that she was like brokenhearted that this happened. So I don't think if she denied knowing the child, I think it was because she wholeheartedly did not think it was one of their kids.
It's in the file that I gave you access to.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think I can answer that particular question, but I think that you're on the right track.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I don't think she would do it purposely because I mean, really
deny the kid. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Y'all are the only ones on this road that, like, obviously it's short.
I know. I think in her mind, she really felt that. But the thing is if she knew for sure that was, like one of the kids, if she denied it, what was the point of that? Like at some point they were going to find out it was one of their kids and then she was going to look like a liar and she could get in more trouble. And I don't think she's trying to get any trouble. So I just think she wholeheartedly didn't know because for whatever reason.
On her fine.
Huh?
She was delinquent on her fine.
Jana was? Oh, I think I did read that she was delinquent on her fine. And then she ended up paying it off after like news come out that she was delinquent on it, I think, right? Then she ended up paying it off.
Yeah, but you have to think strategically. Like, let's think about this for real, okay? So I cover Arkansas crime news. Like, that's what I do. So I have all the 911 calls every day, like dispatch. I have the scanners on. It wasn't on any of that stuff. And I archive it. So, like, I went to the records. I'm like, there's nothing on here. It's not on the audio. So it was pretty awkward. But I say that to say this. It happened months in advance, and no one said anything about it. And then the day after Josh Duggar's convicted, that gets leaked. It's very distraction-ease, timing-wise. Like, somebody sat on that until the day after Josh's conviction. Like, today's the day we're going to leak the story.
We're going to leak this, yeah.
Like, that's... Why?
I'm wondering if it was done by the family to pull the spotlight off of Josh. Jim Bob is known for like Jim Bob is known, like he will throw his daughters under the bus to save Josh. Like,
Yeah, it would appear that way. I mean, Clint got me so tickled on a live once that I just had to catch a breath. They referred to him allegedly as God's anointed one, and I lost my shit. Like, we were on a live, and I was so tickled, I just could not. Allegedly, they call him God's anointed one.
To Josh as the anointed one?
Allegedly, supposedly, he has been referred to as God's anointed one.
That's wild. That's wild.
So what do you do with that? Like,
that's so crazy. Can you imagine the amount of confidence he has? Like, I'm the anointed one. I'm the king. I'm the king of the castle.
The math ain't mathin'.
No, it's so crazy.
It's really not. Yeah, the math ain't mathin'. But like I said, I've got a lot of content for you. I also have a lot of IBLP books that were donated to me for research coverage and stuff. Oh yeah, they're next level. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things. There's a lot of things that'll like never see the light of day, and I totally understand why. And it's weird to me that people are so obsessed. Like, it's almost like they still get paid because people are so obsessed with them, whether it's from like a hate perspective or like, how do they still make, like, I got questions. Like, how do they still fund things?
I don't know.
You know, like, I don't know if you saw the house that they flipped. It's disrespectful to the art of architecture, but I digress.
The one that Jibaba Michelle flipped, was it that big one?
It was made by Frank Lloyd Wright's, one of Frank Lloyd Wright's understudies. So I would say that's an abomination on architectural design, but that's neither here nor there, I guess.
I looked at some of the houses they flipped, but I don't know who did what on it or anything, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I saw like a really big house. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's like raw.
Yeah, it was rock.
You know, but like, here's the thing: is the way that they presented themselves, from what I witnessed. Like, in my speculation, my opinion is like, if God forbid he had gotten off, they would have walked out and been like, this is proof that, you know, they were trying to take down Christians and, you know, this fake narrative, like everyone's out to get them. Because when they were talking about like, Josh was set up, he's so famous, he can't even go to Starbucks. Yeah, MF and right. Like, he works in a shoebox car lot, but whatever. Like, he's nodding his head like, yeah. Like, delusional.
Yeah, that's so. You can't even go to Starbucks. Like, what? First off, a lot of celebrities go to Starbucks. I think, anyways. I always see them with the drink, which maybe they're assisting.
Listen, if this dude came up behind me at Walmart, I would not know who he was.
Yeah, so not everybody knows them, right?
Well, like, nobody cares about them here. They're an embarrassment. So, like, well, besides the 647 people in Tawnytown that are, you know.
I was, the Ashley reported that when she went for something, that there was actually signs up for Jim Bob when he was running.
There were. Someone down the street from me had one up for a short little while.
That's so wild. Like, yeah. I was like, there's not a chance in heck this dude's going to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then I read that and I'm like, is there a chance?
It's insane. But I mean, the level of delusion. I mean, if you've heard the recordings and like, just sitting there, I was like, oh my God. Like, it was a lot. It was a hot mess express. Yeah, so that's the house. And if I remember correctly, it was done by one of Frank Lloyd Wright's understudies. And I think the house was bought for like $250,000. Because it needed some work done. Or $230,000.
230. Yep. It was sold for 1.53. 1.53.
And to somebody that according to property records, you would think that they would need prayers for, so to speak.
Really?
Yeah. I was surprised to see who bought it based on property records.
I like it.
I do like it, but like that is Frank Lloyd Wright, that would be a mid-century modern design, and they've made that farmhouse. Or they tried to make, like, that is not mid-century modern, that kitchen.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the house. I'm just saying, like,
right, but it don't match. I can see what you're saying. Like, it's not really matching.
And you know, like,
but it's nice.
If you know who Frank Lloyd Wright is, like,
what just happened?
He's a genius, an architectural genius.
I could tell by the way you said his understudy did it, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, if you look up Frank Lloyd Wright houses and the houses that his understudies did, and then you look at this, you'd be like, now I know what she's talking about.
I'm going to have to do that.
When you're here, I'll take you to Crystal Bridges and take you in a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
I like this stairwell.
Yeah, the stairwell is cool. And there's a statue at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But it don't match. That's what I'm saying. Like the stairwell, it's like this kind of old timey.
It's like mid-century modern.
Yeah. And then bam.
Yeah, it's like, and then that's farmhouse pulled out. And I mean, like, again, there's nothing wrong with that style. It's just
right.
Knowing, like, what was that bathtub?
That is pretty weird. I've never seen a bathtub like that. That's a bathtub and a shower.
Mm-hmm. It's something, all right.
Oh, it's got a movie theater. Okay.
I mean, it's a nice house.
What is this? A ballet room? A gym?
Maybe a gym. Huge garage.
Huh.
I mean, it's on a good piece of land, not, but
Johnny Cash's former estates for sale.
Johnny Cash is from Arkansas.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Listen, I'm embarrassed by the Duggars, but like Walmart, JB Hunt, Tyson, Johnny Cash, Evanescence.
Well, hold up. Let's back it up. Hold on. You say Walmart? So Sam Walton?
Yep. Walmart,
JB
Hunt, Tyson, Johnny Cash, Evanescence, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jackson's dad. I could keep going, but we produced some good ones, so please don't judge Arkansas by the Duggars. We would vote them off the island if we could.
Vote them off.
Like we're deeply apologetic.
I don't even know who all's from Louisiana. I know there's a lot of rappers. It's from New Orleans, but I'm not sure. I don't know who we have. I'll have to look that up.
So much fun. Y'all got all kinds of cool stuff. I mean,
we do have several. I think maybe Lil Wayne. I think maybe Lil Wayne's from Louisiana. I think Master P. I think Master P.
Those are all good ones.
Oh, Britney Spears.
Yeah. See, you're doing great.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to get a list together. But anyways, it's midnight and I have to get the kids up for school. So I'm gonna continue digging in the Duggar Unsealed files. I gotta figure out what to do next because it's a lot. It's so much. I don't even know what to do. But this one was rather interesting that they did not want the girls asked, like, do you see Josh as a predator? They didn't want the girls asked. They didn't want their spouses asked. So clearly they did, obviously.
And then to have that followed up by, well, do you think the public has the right to know about a predator? It's like, how are you going to answer no to that?
Right. You would have to. I mean, that's why even like society, like agrees, like there's laws that when a child predator gets out of jail, they have to register, they have to send out these cards saying, hey, I moved into your area, I'm your neighbor, and these are my offenses, I'm a level blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Ellen's from Louisiana. Oh, that sucks.
Oh, we don't like Ellen. I don't know enough about. I don't know what happened there.
Well, yeah, apparently she's really mean. Apparently, like this whole nice act that she has going on was like Addison Rae. My daughter actually saw Addison Rae. So Addison Rae is from an area not too far from us. And my daughter was at the Chevron here one night and she saw Addison Rae. A big van pulled up and the doors opened and Addison Rae and like 2 or 3 other people got out and went to the store. And my daughter like rushed home, was like, I just saw Addison Rae. And then like the next day, Addison Rae, or maybe it was that day, we checked her Snapchat or whatever, her Snapchat, and Addison Rae was at the lake over here, which is like a well-known lake. It's like Toledo Town, like a lot of people know about Toledo Town.
I'm sure that was cool, and she like got to see somebody that she thinks is cool. Like I see like Bill Clinton walking by, like run into the damn Duggars at Walmart. At
That's
least
so
she's
crazy,
like
Bill Clinton,
and she gets to run into Addison Rae. So
Addison Rae, yeah.
At least it's like a cool one.
Yeah, Addison Rae's really cool. Also, I guess Reese Witherspoon's from here. I didn't know that, but that's cool. I like Reese Witherspoon. But yeah, Ellen, apparently like a lot of her guests came out to say that like before they, when they went on her show, that they were told like don't look her in the eye, don't touch her. Her guests like weren't allowed to chew gum. If they seen her in the hallways, they weren't allowed to look at her. They weren't allowed to speak to her. One person that was like delivering their food, what are those people called? They bring food on set, and she had her fingernail polish was like chipped a little bit because she had just had it for a bit, it was chipped. And Ellen like called the people that owned the service and complained about this woman and wanted her like fired because her nail polish was chipped and it was like gross.
Man, you're ruining Ellen for me. It's like a
girl. There's so much. I'm surprised you haven't heard about it. There's so much.
I live under a rock. I'm telling you, I live under a crime rock.
It's so wild. Like Trisha Paytas, she came out. She talked about Trisha Paytas. She's a famous YouTuber, but she was on Ellen, and while on Ellen, you hear her talking to Ellen and she like touches her and she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch you. And she said later on that it was because she was told like, don't touch her. So then when she touched her, she was like, I'm so sorry, and then another YouTuber who's Nikki, I don't remember her name, but she came out as transgender a while back because she was being blackmailed. Somebody was going to like out her.
Now she's incredible.
Who?
Is that you're talking about the makeup artist? Blonde hair.
Yes. Well, she was on Ellen, and Ellen was like very like mean and rude to her. She was on another talk show like sometime later on, and they asked her. They said, "Worst, celebrity you've ever met?" And she said, "Definitely Ellen." And they were like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, when I went to the Ellen show, like she was really nasty to me. Like beforehand, she would not talk to me unless the cameras were rolling. It was like Nikki Tutorials. That's what she was like." Like mean mugging, and then the camera would start rolling. She'd be like, so, blah, blah. And she was like, it was so fake. And she said, you would think that she would be super nice to me because I had just came out and I'm a part of the LGBT. Huh?
And it's Ellen, so it's like.
Yeah, and it's Ellen. Right. So yeah, Ellen is like apparently really mean.
Well, damn. Had to do my night like that, huh?
Yeah, it's wild. So wild. Anyways, you guys, I got to get off because I really have to use the bathroom at this point. I have to tinkle. Because I've drank a whole bottle of water and a root beer since I've been on stream. So anyways, you guys, make sure y'all give this video a thumbs up. Leave me your thoughts on everything that we discussed in tonight's stream because there was a lot. So you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.